Hey everyone, welcome to Snarf Talk with Chris.
And Jerry.
And this is our podcast where we give you a behind-the-scenes look as we create a comic book.
We're going to talk about TV, movies, comic books, and hopefully have a lot of guests, other writers, creators, and friends.
Check us out at snarfcomics.com. You can check out our blog and follow along with everything we got going on. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Snarf Comics. And please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes.
Enjoy the episode. Back.
All right, we're back.
Snarf Talk, episode 26.
Oh, we're past the big 2.5.
Yeah, we had our retrospective.
Our prefrontal cortex is finally developed.
A little bit. Is that a thing?
25 years old is when your prefrontal cortex finishes developing.
So I have no chance of further development?
No.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
and that part of your brain.
What about growth? Can I grow?
Your pituitary?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's done.
Really?
Yeah. Your prefrontal cortex is it's your decision making part of the brain.
Oh, I'm definitive in decision making. But my mom keeps telling me I'll grow.
Well, maybe someday.
Thank you.
So we have a Snarf Talk first. Do you know what it is?
A first? No, I don't know what the first is.
It's light out.
Oh, yes.
It's light outside for the first time. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's technically the second time that we've recorded in daylight. Because we did it one time. We did it one time on a Saturday.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Remember, you had to, like, we came in, I don't know what time it was. We came in at like noon. Or no, it was like 2 or something, and we recorded, and you had to go to something. I don't remember what you were going to, but I know we recorded here on a Saturday.
Well, in any case, why, Mr. Snyder, are we recording so early?
Well,
it's not early, by the way. There's like one shred of daylight left.
Right. It's not that early, but the sun is going down and basically down. You can barely see it, but there is light left. We are recording early because we have an old man here.
Yeah.
It's 8:12. Literally, you guys start at 8:30 every other time.
Well, that's true.
Well, we don't really start till 9 usually.
Yeah, but just like here, we got here at 7:30. But
we like recording in the night. I'm a night person. Jerry, the prowler, loves
obviously
and lives in the night.
Yes, I live for the night.
But that means we have the triumphant second guest appearance of
the dude
Hello.
in studio.
He's back.
He's trying to catch up to Nate.
Yeah.
In far as guest appearances.
Sorry, I've been a little preoccupied with baseball and the wife going to school. But
Baseball. Believe
softball,
you me.
And softball.
Yeah.
Poof. So, yep, I'm got some more free time, seeing how there's 6 inches of rain on the ground. And
Yep.
Because we live in a swamp. It's Louisiana.
Yep.
And
I think I'm going to plant rice next week if it keeps raining.
you might actually, you ever thought about that?
No.
Flooding a field? And
I don't need to flood them.
Right. You don't need to flood them now. If you had some like good river bottom ground, is there such a thing as good river bottom ground?
Not on a year like this.
Yep.
No.
Nope.
No, not at
So
all.
we got a jam-packed, exciting episode.
It is jam-packed.
Care of dude being here. So
Dude, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me, guys. I've been looking forward to trying to get back here for about, 3 months now?
It's been a
yeah,
it's
you
been
were
like
on.
since,
You were in season 1.
Whew.
Was that season 1?
I think he was the 4th episode, so that was the end of season 1. And then
that was not in this year.
The start of season 2 was episode 5.
It was in 2018.
Yep.
Wow.
So
It
this
was.
is your first appearance of 2019. Congratulations.
Thank you for coming again.
I feel so honored. Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you.
All right. What are we starting out with now? The news?
Yes.
All
News.
right. Do you got some news for me, Jared?
Oh, let me look it up. I actually don't think I do.
Really?
I don't think I've researched enough.
Well,
for news.
I will start out. We got some new trailers going on.
Yes. Which ones?
The first one I saw was a new trailer for Batgirl.
Batwoman.
Is it Batwoman?
Oh yes,
Batwoman.
it's Batwoman.
It's called Batwoman?
That's
God,
what the
he's such
trailer.
a- he's
That's what
such
the
a
trailer
horrible
said.
Batman fan.
Yeah.
Horrible Batman fan.
Well, I mean, it's Batgirl in the...
No, it's not. There's a
right.
difference.
Well, in any case, we got a Batwoman because they would never make a show called Batgirl,
Right. Oh, no, you can't ever say the word girl.
even though they got Supergirl.
That's true.
It's not Superwoman, is it?
No. Wonder Woman.
So, have you seen the trailer?
Yes, I have seen the trailer.
Thoughts?
Well, where do I start?
Yeah, me and Jared are probably pretty well aligned on that.
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
And you're setting me up
No, I'm not
to
setting
talk
you up.
talk about this so that you could say
I think he's
sexist.
gonna-
You're sexist.
It's not so much that it's sexist. It's there's one point in there in the trailer. If you haven't seen it, watch it because where she goes, I'm not gonna. Well, how's it go? I'm not gonna let a man get away with credit that when a woman did the job or something.
Yeah, let me look up
And
because
she's literally stealing all of Batman's
exactly.
toys and equipment and suit and car and identity.
I'm not about to let a man take credit for a woman's work.
Yeah.
And she
Said
steals all-
after she broke into Batman's cave and took his suit, his
So-
equipment, his cars, his stuff.
So, Jared, do you want to do who Batwoman is for people who don't know?
I mean,
I don't really know.
No.
So,
Okay.
I don't really think it's necessary at this point just because I'm so aggravated with what the trailer is.
Right.
So like Chris was saying in some text messages we had earlier, it's literally just pandering. It's pandering to the way society is right now at the moment.
the
but
background music is I'm a Woman.
it's just overboard on she's a woman, she's a lesbian. All of those things are fine. That is absolutely fine. It's just that in this one trailer, they've crammed, maybe the show isn't like this, but in the trailer, they've crammed so much stuff saying about how she's going to be better at this. Like she's a woman. She also
The
likes
guy
girls.
says the bat
It's just-
suit. The bat suit's literal perfection. I can't change it. And she says it will be when it fits a woman.
Yeah. I mean, and
the
all of this
dialogue so hokey.
all of this is fine. Like it is fine to have a woman-centric show. Like I think it will do really well. But like you've said in multiple episodes about stories that involve women, if the writing is good, the story is good, then you don't even need it doesn't even need to be said that it is all women or that a woman is the hero here. Like it doesn't need to be said because the story itself is good enough to support all of that. And you're going to enjoy it because of
Batwoman
it.
comic is good. I mean,
Absolutely.
Back in let's see here, 2006 when it came out, it was pretty revolutionary. I mean, it's a lesbian. She's
Yeah.
first cousin-
Is that the comic too?
Yes, from
Okay.
2006. Yeah.
She is Bruce Wayne's first cousin.
Okay. I don't know anything about the character, so
It-
I know that there wasn't Joss Whedon writing that for a while.
Yeah, he
Comic.
was supposed to be. No,
The
not the
sh-
comic.
a
He was
movie.
supposed to be writing a movie.
Yeah, that's right.
That
So
ended up-
maybe he still is, but it's.
I
Not.
think it got scrapped.
Yeah,
I mean, the CW kind of does whatever they want.
Right. Greg Berlanti does whatever he
Why are
wants.
they doing CW shows now and just not doing them on the DC app? I don't understand.
That's a good question. I don't know.
There must be a rights thing.
Well, see, this was
Warner
probably-
Brothers hates their fans. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
They just absolutely.
I mean,
This has been in production for like a really long time though. So I think it
that
was
character
before-
appeared in one of the other shows.
It was the spinoff of the Arrow Flash Crazy World or something.
Elseworlds.
That's
Yeah,
it,
it was
yeah.
Elseworlds. And they did a Arrow Flash crossover called Elseworlds.
Yeah,
And that character's in it.
Aren't they doing Birds of Prey too?
That is being developed as a movie in the fall.
It's a movie. That's right. I know we've talked about it before, but I couldn't remember if it was a movie or a TV show.
Because isn't Margot Robbie in that?
Yeah, she is. You're right. Yep.
Anyway, I mean, I'm all on board. I think it's a cool outfit.
And the production looks
The
good.
production quality looks good.
Yeah.
It looks super hokey. The dialogue was cheesy, and some of those shots were really cheesy. And she looks joyless.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
She's like a miserable human being apparently, and
Well,
I don't know. Again,
kind of
maybe
the whole point of her being there, she gets kicked out of the military for being a lesbian. She can't be who she wants to be.
right.
That's why she takes on the persona of Batwoman.
And maybe the show won't be bad. I'll probably check out quite a few episodes of it just to give it a chance. But even if the first episode is so forward on the lesbian, I'm a strong woman and lesbian and nobody gets me and I'm gonna be better than everyone else because of this. If that's all this is gonna be about, Give me a break. I mean, because comic books have been doing this with women for such a long time. Not putting the woman aspect forward, just like writing good characters and making them the star of the show.
Right.
Like, they've been doing it for such a long time. I don't understand why TV is taking so long to do it, and why they try to change it to be like a pandering show, like you were saying. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just some of those lines, and I could totally be just the trailer because, like, hey, we want to go out and grab the attention of this audience, and that's totally reasonable.
Yeah.
So that's why I'll give it a shot. I think it's cool to do, like, there isn't a lot of representation for gay characters. So I think that's awesome, and I don't think that was like in your face or anything like that. It was more just the background music of "I'm a woman" and then those 2 lines that she said about, you know,
the bat suit and all that.
the bat suit.
Right.
And then,
That was pretty hokey.
so I mean, it could be cool, but I just wish they would. I hope, and maybe they will make the show, have it be what it is, and don't have to throw that stuff in your face, because that is what's empowering.
Yeah.
To see a female or to see a gay character isn't the only thing that defines them. It just happens to be something that they are.
That's the word I was looking
or that
for.
the way they are. And don't make it all about that being what defines them. Although, you know, we don't probably have the best perspective to be commenting on it. So.
I don't know. I am none of those things. But I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't necessarily, just because we don't have the best perspective on to talk about that, doesn't mean that we can't talk about, like, how in your face it is in the trailer.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, the trailer is very forward on that stuff, and I think anybody would see that from watching it. I mean, if I've read the comments on that trailer, and it's 100% that. Like, it's like,
yeah.
Let's
the comments
talk
are very
more.
negative.
Let's talk more about how she's a woman. Let's talk more about how, you know, she's mad. You know,
Right.
like, she doesn't. The big part is, like, I understand the comic book is that way, but in a TV show, it's really hard to watch somebody that's just miserable and doesn't like anything.
It's kind of that way, you know, too, like the comic, like the Captain Marvel comic, the popular one from like 2012 on.
Yeah.
The new run.
She was a very unlikable character. And I think they tried to translate that in the movie, and I just don't think it worked for me personally. But
no, it didn't work. I like Captain Marvel though. I do like the movie. It's one of the lesser Marvel movies.
we might talk about it later
I do like the movie.
when we do our top 10 list.
Oh, he just wrecked it.
I just said maybe.
He just
Oh, okay.
wrecked it.
Well, it's going to be in the description.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's true. It will be in the description. So what we're going to do later is a top 10 worst comic book movies
Yeah.
that we have picked as a trifecta here.
But
Obviously, we
first,
each
I
have
got
a
some
different
more
list.
news.
Yeah, go for it.
There was another Swamp Thing trailer.
Look,
What?
I did,
Yeah.
and I didn't watch it. You told me to watch it.
When did it come out?
Didn't you put it in that comment?
Yeah, I sent it to you too. I thought you meant like another one since then.
I think that was a different one. There's been like 3 now.
Yeah, and it looks.
Okay, you were telling me about one that shows Swamp Thing's face a lot more. Like,
Yeah, no,
right
no.
up
There's
front.
been another one after that.
I haven't seen any of that.
It doesn't really reveal anything else. I think it looks really cool.
To me, watching the previews, I hope they stick close to the comic book, because it appears in the trailers that they are.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I think they will, because they're making it for the DC app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they definitely have with Doom Patrol, and I think they will with Swamp Thing. What worries me is that it got prematurely canceled,
Yes.
and they're only making this one season. So
Cut.
obviously there's something didn't click.
Well, no, I wholeheartedly believe, like I talked before, it's because the whole Warner Brothers AT&T merger, and AT&T is going to make their own streaming app, or Warner Brothers is making their own streaming app, and getting rid of the DC.
I don't
app.
think they are, because I was looking that up today, and it doesn't make any sense to get rid of that DC app. They just launched. It's got tons of
But
content.
it also doesn't make sense to have 2 different streaming apps for the same company.
I wonder, though, if they'll have them both and bundle them.
Well, Disney
one
bought
purchase.
Well,
Hulu.
hopefully.
I mean,
Yeah,
they own
Disney
Hulu.
owns most of Hulu. Now that, because there was partners in Hulu.
Yeah.
Fox was one of them and Disney was one of them.
So
I
now
think-
they own majority of Hulu, plus they're launching their own app. So
I have heard they're going to bundle the Hulu app and the Disney Plus app as a bundle, and you'll get a discount if you purchase both.
Huh.
and they might do the same with the Warner Brothers DC app.
Okay. Well, I don't think. I think that's why that happened. I think a lot of those shows were stopped because they weren't sure of like why they spend the money on a TV
they
show.
renewed Doom Patrol. They
Well,
renewed Titans.
They
Just
did.
look at all of.
I didn't know that. Gosh,
Netflix
I don't
Marvel.
know.
They came out and they all got canceled as soon as they popped out, which everybody knows what's going to happen there. I'm assuming that Swamp Thing's the same thing. I think that Warner Brothers, hopefully in DC, have their crap together and are going to do something.
But
Yeah.
is Marvel going to, I mean, Marvel's not going to continue Daredevil anytime soon.
It's not what's the buzz is that it's all going to be on the Disney app or Hulu.
I don't think they're going to continue to make those shows, though.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
No, I
I
don't
know
think
that
so.
the Marvel TV people and the Marvel Cinematic Universe people don't talk. There's no love there whatsoever.
Well,
Well,
we'll see. But I'm excited.
I am too.
nonetheless.
Hopefully it is good enough
Warner
to
Brothers
get another.
is pulling all their content off Netflix as well. So I don't know what
Wow.
Netflix is going to be doing.
Yeah, Netflix is going to struggle, I think, for a little bit, but they're making so much content on
much
their
original
own,
content.
and they're buying so much stuff from like Cannes and South by Southwest and all these like film festivals. They're buying all that stuff and making them their own. I don't think they'll have a problem.
I think actually
And so many
all of
creators
this
come
is
to them.
better for these streaming networks because it just gets people, more and more people to drop their dish.
yes.
And
Yeah,
once they
ours
drop their dish, they go, oh, well, now I have a bunch of money I can spend on all these different streaming services.
For sure. And that's where I'm at right now. Like I got rid of Dish and I can
I told you it's a great. You'll there's so much content. I
have-
have HBO,
I do not miss it in the
Hulu,
slightest.
and Netflix. And then I just like a month ago I realized I have a Amazon Prime account, so
Right.
I have Amazon TV too. So we have 4 streaming networks. For
That's what
still half the price we had Dish.
That's exactly what I have right now. Even with HBO being $14.99 a month, doesn't matter. It's
there's more
not even
movies-
close to what
There's more movies on HBO than there is on Netflix.
by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a
anybody
ton.
doesn't- yeah.
And they switch them all the time where new stuff comes
Yep.
out.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I like it a lot. Do that. Everyone get rid of Dish. It's a
Or-
revolt.
Well, I had
DirecTV.
I had DirecTV.
I don't know. Oh, get rid of DirecTV too.
Dish is like the poor man's DirecTV.
Was it?
Yeah.
I had
Yes.
Dish. I always liked Dish.
That's because you're
Poor.
well, that's
And
short,
a small
but,
man.
Yeah.
Financially and in character.
So I saw a thing on Facebook that said that there's a new rule, like the state of Illinois passed a new thing that you have to be 4'9" or the age of 13 before you can sit in the front seat and not use a booster. You need a booster seat if you're 4'9" or below 13. And I read that and I was like, holy shit, like I can barely even drive legally anymore. Like, am I gonna have to sit in the back seat and reach the front to drive here pretty soon?
Jerry.
I think you're a
For
long
the
ways
record-
away from 4'9".
Yeah, for the record, I'm much taller than 4'9", like way taller than 4'9".
I'm like
Way
4'12".
Right, I'm
That's 5 feet, yo.
I'm super 4'12".
Another thing I saw that was kind of interesting is
I'd be 4'18".
418. The Spawn 300 issue. Have you seen that?
Yes, I saw they released the creators,
And the cover.
the co-creators, and the cover. Yes, I saw that today.
And I don't know. I didn't read much about it, but it is the same as the Spider-Man cover.
It looks identical.
It's identical.
Yeah,
but it's
it looks
Spawn.
identical. And Capullo,
Yeah.
Capullo,
Greg Capullo.
he's in it.
Capullo, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm looking forward to that. I've never collected any Spawn. I think I might have a couple issues from the 90s, but I haven't been reading it anytime.
You know what movie won't be on my top 10 list? Spawn.
Don't spoil things.
I'm just saying.
wrecked it.
You know how many movies there are out in the world right now?
That's why
Cheapers.
that's why I have 2 lists.
That's all I had for. Actually, I had one more piece of news,
Okay.
and actually, it's not really news. I just got chastised by a listener
Oh.
in our Endgame review for not pointing out a couple Easter eggs.
Okay.
Because there's like 200.
I know,
I don't
but
know. Maybe they've all.
one of them I caught during the movie, and I meant to talk about it, and I've always forgotten. The other one I did not catch at all, and I don't even know if it's a real thing. But there was a couple potential hints at future characters. Did you know these?
Are they talking about the British guy?
Yeah.
Oh God.
And these really aren't spoilers.
I
but
never
whatever.
catch these Easter egg things. I
So
don't.
apparently, when they go back in time, Captain America. So
Yeah.
I guess there's some quick spoilers, but nothing big.
If you haven't seen Endgame and you're not, and you listen to this podcast,
We
and you haven't
can't.
seen
If we
Endgame,
say that, they're like, "I'll shut off the podcast."
Yeah, believe me,
I
they
guess so.
they
I'll
don't
say what the hell I
listen.
want.
People don't listen when you say that they're spoilers.
So when they go back in time, and Captain America is standing on the other side of the glass from what's her name?
Peggy.
Peggy.
Yeah.
Agent Peggy Carter. She mentions the name of Captain Britain.
Oh, okay.
So that's one hinted at.
That's kind of cool.
And that is cool because they could do something in the past
Sure.
on the Disney app that is a Captain Britain show.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about that character, but I think he's pretty powerful. Cool character.
I know zero about him.
The other one that I definitely
why?
caught during the
You wanna
movie.
know why?
Britain.
Because it's Captain Britain.
USA.
Nobody cares.
USA. The other one that I did catch immediately when it came out, I thought immediately, I'm like, I know what this is when they're talking about, what's the girl from Black Panther? You know what I'm talking about?
His sister, or
No, not the sister, the other one, like the head of the guard.
Oh yeah, like
We're such horrible fans. of
the Walking Dead chick.
Yeah. They're all reporting back to Black Widow, and she says, "Oh, there was a earthquake
Yes,
in the bottom of
Submariner.
the
I
ocean."
caught that.
Yeah.
Submariner. Yes.
Yeah, I think that was foreshadowing Namor.
Submariner. Yeah, that makes
Phase
sense.
4, right there. Chris calls it.
I'm calling that as a villain. Phase 4. Namor is a villain.
But he
Phase
comes.
4.
Ooh.
Hey, he's kind of sometimes he's a villain, sometimes he's
Because
a
he
hero.
fought against the Nazis with Captain America.
Yeah, but he's been a villain.
But he's
Yes,
been a
he has.
villain. Yeah.
Or kind of like a anti-hero.
Yeah.
Correct.
Anti-establishment.
But like his villain phase is always like, well, he's protecting the oceans or
yeah,
whatever he's got to
yeah.
do. So I'm definitely calling, maybe in the next Black Panther movie.
But there's an Easter egg that a lot of people are now just starting to come out of that. And during the whole Peggy Carter TV show, they never, because it's hinted at that she got married in Captain Marvel, Winter Soldier when she
Captain
Oh,
America.
yeah,
Winter
yeah.
Soldier.
when she passes away. No, that's Civil War when she passes away. So the entire time the movies are going on, they say she was married, but they never say who she's
married to.
Even
Right.
if you still go to her Wikipedia page, they never mention it. Well, now it's that she would, even when she's laying there dying next to Captain America. Was she married to Captain America the entire time?
Well, the answer is yes.
yes.
Because the creators in the last couple of weeks have come out and said, in fact, that she was married to Captain America.
They have.
They had children.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Because that's a whole new
I
story.
thought they had
Anthony-
said that they didn't plan that.
They didn't plan it,
But now
according
they're
to the
just-
writers, Marcus and McFeely.
Yeah.
But the Russo brothers have come out and said that, yes, they intended that out of Endgame, that's what that would
awesome.
make.
Oh, okay.
I got a little.
well,
bit
that's
of news.
awesome.
You guys want to hear it?
Yeah, go for it. That was all I got.
So, Jerry, what do you think of the new Batman for the Batman movie?
Oh, I totally forgot about this.
Yeah,
This is
so
a
they
great
came out with Robert Pattinson as one. They're still
one. And it wasn't officially.
It wasn't
I thought
official.
it was
There's-
official,
It's
but I guess
official.
no, I don't think so.
no, because there's still one other person in the
they're
running.
in talks with him.
And they're also in talks with another character or another guy, and I get a
Jon Snow is mine. Kit Carrington. I'm telling you,
no.
that's my vote.
You said that. You texted us that, and I disagree
Dave
wholeheartedly.
Bautista.
He's too short.
True.
not
But Patterson's
not
not big enough. I mean, he's got to pack on like 30 pounds.
I mean, he already played a bat.
Vampire.
Well, whatever.
I don't think he turned. It's not Bugs Bunny. He did not turn into a bat as a
Why is that
vampire.
Bugs Bunny? Dracula turns into a bat. Haven't you ever seen Hotel Transylvania?
Yeah,
Haven't you ever seen the Bugs Bunny when he's arguing?
I do not say blah blah blah.
We're getting way off course here.
I
But-
can't remember the other guy's name, but there was another guy that they were in talks with for Batman too. But
Well,
yeah, Robert Pattinson, I'm not a fan of.
well, he's got some good movies in the last 2 years that are pretty edgy and
Yeah,
I don't-
apparently he's had some really good independent.
right, I
movies.
haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen him act other than in Twilight. And that's all I'm basing my.
Time out.
Oh, I've seen all the Twilights.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody heard that.
Yeah, I've seen all of them.
I haven't seen
not.
any of
I have
them.
not seen any of them.
No, I've seen all of them. My wife was obsessed with those when they came out. She read all the books.
We're too
prior.
old, dude. We were too old for that.
So that's why you're still pasty
We're
white all the
much
time?
younger than you. Yeah, and I'm
Much.
sparkly and
Yeah,
yeah.
you are sparkly.
Am I sparkly? So, overall, not a fan of it. I don't see him being able to portray Batman. I don't know how he is.
Well,
at,
everybody
like,
said the
English.
same thing about Ben Affleck.
True.
And
And
he
they all
turned
said the same thing about Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was like this teeny bopper movie guy that everybody was like, how is he ever going to play a Batman villain? And then he comes out and gives the greatest performance like that we've ever seen.
To be fair, Robert Pattinson.
To be fair,
Robert Pattinson, like that. Those Twilight movies were a long time ago. He's been in a lot of stuff since then, and apparently he's been in like a lot more adult themed,
edgy.
Yeah. I like the edge.
What do they do for the voice for Batwoman?
You think he prowls? I like prowling.
People were talking
what do you
about
say?
the voice for Batwoman. That it was weird.
I don't remember.
what it was.
I don't remember the voice. So.
Wouldn't it be cool if they used like the Bruce,
Did he?
the Ben Affleck voice modulator?
That'd be
So
awesome.
when
I
she
think that
talks,
would.
she was like,
You know, it'd be even awesomer if she sounds like Ben Affleck.
That would be terrifying.
Just sounds just like-
That would be terrifying. You said that there was two things that you were yelled at about for the Endgame thing, and you only said
"Oh,
one.
Namor and Captain Britain."
yeah.
Oh, I know, but you.
That was the two.
That's two,
Namor,
Jerry.
Captain Britain.
Okay, we'll go off of that.
Jerry keeps screwing up the audio. Was the other Batman Michael Fassbender?
No, it was a younger guy. We've seen him before. I can't remember.
Jake
I can't remember.
Gyllenhaal.
No, not Jake Gyllenhaal. No.
He
Actually,
could play
Jake
Batman.
Gyllenhaal is one of them. He wanted it.
He wouldn't be a bad Batman, really.
He'd be a good Bruce Wayne.
I think he
He'd
could
be
do
a
it. But
great Mysterio.
I had never. He would be a really good Mysterio that you have not agreed with.
no,
Multiverse.
he's too famous.
He's too famous. Give me a break.
So that's all I got for news. Did you have anything, Jerry?
No, I'm newsless.
So, what are we doing now? What you're watching, or do you want to talk about?
I have one thing that I'll talk about with it's what you're watching, but it's like I watched it on YouTube, but it's actually a podcast. But I watch Joe Rogan on YouTube all the time.
Yeah,
Me too.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it better just seeing what they're
you-
talking about and stuff because they're so visual on that podcast with a lot of things that I like to see it. So I don't know if you've watched it, but it had a lady on there recently. Or have you listened to Joe Rogan
Nazi lady?
a lot? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
I
That's
have been listening
Operation
to a
Paperclip.
lot of.
That is
So
Wow.
Annie Jacobson is her name, and she's a writer or she's a journalist, and she tells you about how she's a journalist about 74,000 times, and she tells you about you need to buy my book 74,000
What's
times.
which remind me? I think I listened to this one, but I can't
It's
remember.
episode 1299.
No, I mean, like, what did she talk about?
Oh, well, she has a book. She's got a bunch of books out. I don't know if you know this, but she has a bunch of books that you need to buy.
Hey, is she a journalist?
She's a journalist, and she wrote these books. Okay. Well, one of them that she wrote was an older book, like quite a few years ago, but it was about Area 51, and
I'm just listening to that episode right now.
about like the secrets of that and the people that she's talked to about that. Are you listening to it now?
Yeah, but I'm just at the beginning.
Okay. Well, that's where she talks about Area 51 is right in the beginning. And Joe like pressures her into it, and she is very uncomfortable and does not want to speak about it. And she's like, well, you'd find out in the book. He's like, listen, you're on a podcast, and I'm
With
asking you.
100 million listeners.
Yeah, like I'm asking
It's
you
the
these
most
questions.
listened piece of media that exists in our
Yes.
culture, I think.
Really?
Is the Joe Rogan
Yeah.
podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
he hammers her kind of in the beginning to say like, no, this is what we're talking about. Let's go. Like this is what we're doing. She said, well, I thought we were going to talk about that stuff like later in hour 3. He's like, nope, no, we're going to start off on that right now.
Well, then she started
But anyway,
talking-
yeah, she talks about that, and then she has a new book out about like spies and paratroopers that like were undercover and CIA spies that have been undercover and all like true stories about basically assassins that the United States has. It's just so cool. And then there's one
She talks
operation
about Operation Paperclip. What's up?
in World War II.
So all of our lives, we have been told and taught that when Nazi Germany came to an end in World War II, that we sucked up all the good scientists.
Yes.
And that is untrue according to this lady. And if you dig into Operation Paperclip, because all this stuff's out there, we sucked up anybody we could. It didn't matter.
We just took the best scientists regardless.
We took scientists because if we didn't get them, Russia was going to get them, and we wanted to be on top.
Yep.
I mean, literally the Surgeon General, who's number 3 to Hitler, walked out of Nuremberg untouched.
Yep, and came directly to the U.S. and worked for us, and is in pictures sitting next to Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah.
Sitting next to him, and they talk about the
fencing scars.
This fencing scars, yeah. So they have this thing where they do these
fencing
duels
with swords, and they put goggles and.
But it's like with real swords, you know, and it's like a rite of passage where you get this. Oh, what do they call it? It's a certain type of scar.
It was a fencing scar.
A dueling scar, just dueling scars.
You are correct, right there.
And they were showing pictures, and like people's faces are cut wide open, but every one of these like German officers, like higher up officers, has a scar on their face, like every single one of them. And they were saying like you can see him sitting next to our president when they're unveiling something, part of he worked on part of the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
But he was like sitting next to him, and he's got this big scar, and it's like, this is a guy that was like right there with Hitler.
Yeah.
You know, like a right-hand man to Hitler, and he's
Von Braun. Von Braun, who went to NASA, pretty much.
Yeah, Werner von Braun.
Or that's
Von Braun.
He was the head of NASA.
That's what it is.
Yeah. The other guy talked, the Surgeon General, he was in charge of vaccines for the Nazis.
Yeah.
And did a lot of experiments on Jews.
Yes.
And
and that's another part of the Area 51 they were talking about, is how there was like human experimentation there that the government obviously doesn't want people to know about, but it's for fact, like they were experimenting on people and like little kids, like handicapped babies that they were bringing in and testing and doing experiments on.
I have to listen to it. Sounds cool.
Pretty
I've heard
crazy.
of that lady before, though. She's a pretty famous journalist.
Yeah. Oh, is she a journalist?
Yeah.
Does she write books? Because you're going to find out that she is a journalist and she does write books.
Joe grills her pretty hard.
He does, but it's a really, really good interview.
You gotta figure though that some of those scientists, and I'm not vouching for any of them. I don't know, but I would guess that a lot of them, those were just the circumstances they were in.
And there's a thing on the History Channel called the Third Reich, and it doesn't judge if Nazi Germany was good or bad, which everybody knows it was bad. It just is how the Germans came to power, how the Nazis came to power.
Right, but if you're there and you're in that and you're a scientist, and these are the people that are coming to power, and you're not political by any necessary ways, and you just want to do science, and you're being funded to do things, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much they were involved. I don't know how much the average person knew about what was going on. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I don't think they did.
If you stayed in Germany when the Nazis came to power, you either a Nazi or you got tortured and killed. I mean, that's pretty much
right.
If you research it, that's how they kept control. If you didn't join the party, you died. That's it.
You know what I thought was crazy that she talks about is that Area 51, like the name Area 51, was redacted from like all like papers that the government has. They called it
facility.
They called it different names. And I think she said like President Obama was the first president to actually speak the words Area 51 and acknowledge its existence.
Thanks, Obama.
Isn't that crazy? Like we've all known about it, kind of. Like it's there. You don't know what it is, but he's the first president to openly say like, yes, this is a site that the government runs.
Right.
And
everyone else has always been like,
my dad has always said, anytime the government shows a weapon, they have something 2 or 3 times fold in the background, waiting to let loose. I mean,
right.
Just look at the SR-71 in 65, 68 when it was put into practice.
Yeah,
it was super top secret. By mid 70s, it was junk, and we had
and they retired.
I've seen one.
I did.
They have them at there's a Air Force museum down in Florida, by Destin, Florida, and they got one there.
Oh, there's a Pensacola one, isn't it?
Well, the one I was in was in Destin.
They've got one in Ohio, in
Dalton,
Dayton, Ohio, at the what's that Air Force base? But anyway, it's like 4 hangars large, and it's free. You can just go.
Yeah,
you don't have to pay for it. You just go to it. But they've got 2 SR-71s in there. Awesome.
That's how this one in Florida is. It's got like everything, but they're all just outside. They're like old, decommissioned.
All these are inside hangars, and they've got like a strata fortress and a B-2 bomber inside the building. They're like angled because they can't fit like wideways. I don't know how they got them in there, but they're in this building sideways, and they've got a Saturn rocket. They've got a bunch of different like NASA rockets, and they have a bunch of Air Force One planes, and they've got the one that Lyndon B. Johnson was inaugurated on. They've got that one there that you can walk through. It's all like plexiglass walled off, so they have a little walkway that you can walk through. But on those plexiglass walls, they've got little picture frames that show the areas where everything happened, and it's really cool.
Speaking of Lyndon B. Johnson, have you ever heard the audio of him ordering pants from his tailor?
No.
Is that a thing?
There is
no, but I'm about to.
A hilarious audio because they record all the phone calls.
Yeah.
So they have the recordings of him calling his tailor to order pants.
So is this where he's supposedly hung really good?
Well, it's him talking, and he's I can't even. You got to listen to it because he's like, on that last pair of pants you gave me, it rode up in the crotch too much, and I need some room for my schlong to hang around or something like that. And he's like, and you need to cinch it up all the way up to the bunghole. Get it all the way up to the bunghole. You got to bring that up, and my left side hangs a little lower than my right side, so you got to give me a little inch, give me another inch on the left side, and then cinch it up to the bunghole.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lyndon B. Johnson.
It's great. You got to listen to it.
That's hilarious. So he was like a super hillbilly, huh?
Yeah,
No.
he's from the South.
He's from Texas. That's not hillbilly world. Trust me. Love you, Crystal.
I do have some what you're watching, but
that's the only thing new that I have watched that I wanted to
well,
comment on.
I'll just get rid of my one, and then we'll go into the big one.
Yeah.
I have been watching more and more and more and more of Doom Patrol.
Yeah. How many episodes are there?
I think I'm on like 11, and there must be 12 episodes.
Oh, all right.
I'm almost done with it. It just keeps getting better, Jerry.
Does it really?
This show is crazy. It's so insane.
It's not like the Umbrella Academy, is it?
It's way better.
Okay.
I mean,
I just haven't gotten to it yet.
It's similar in tone, I guess. I feel like the Umbrella Academy, Gerard Way wrote the Umbrella Academy, is a
Based
direct
off of-
influence from trying to be Doom Patrol.
It completely makes sense because
He's a huge Grant Morrison fan, first off, I'm guessing.
And it sounds very similar when you just speak about the shows.
Kind of.
You know.
It just keeps getting crazier. One of the coolest episodes was, remember I told you about the girl that has 64 different personalities?
Yeah.
They do pretty much a whole entire episode. Actually, they do three episodes that all start from the same moment.
Wow.
So they do that moment that happened to these characters.
Yeah.
And then the next episode is that moment from the view of the two other characters. And then they come back and the third episode is from these two other characters. So they do this whole episode. And I don't really, I don't really consider these spoilers because whatever. I mean, it's not like a shock because there's no shocking in this show because it's so freaking weird and off the wall. But that character, they do an entire episode inside of her head. So she gets
just of hers
withdrawn inside of her head. And inside of her head is like a subterranean city where all the 64 different personalities live and interact.
Holy
And they take a train to the surface, and that's the person that is out in the world at the time. So she gets kind of in there, lost in there, and they figure out a way for Robot Man to go in there to try and pull the main personality out, Jane. And it's just through this series of, it's scary, it's a pretty scary episode. Like it's a horror thing
in her
mind.
They're showing like how horrific her
childhood was and why.
But even just being her,
she can get killed in her own mind, basically because of the trauma. Whatever. It's a cool episode. And then they do the next episode, which is the point of view. While that's happening, something else happens to the other characters.
Okay.
And the kind of villain in this episode, which also is a really cool episode, but it's based on what happens to the chief like 100 years ago when he goes up into the Canadian wilderness and gets lost and like befriends this like kind of not a human but like what would be like another like subspecies of human, so almost like a Neanderthal
Like
woman.
Bigfoot. He befriended Bigfoot.
It's not Bigfoot, but it's like
Is
a
it like
similar character to that.
Yeah.
In any way, but in the side of that going on, the Bureau of Normalcy is looking for the chief. That's what the whole show is about. They're all looking for the chief.
Yeah,
but they want to find him, so they enlist a guy that lives in his mother's basement. That's a huge nerd, and his name is the Beard Hunter.
Okay.
And when he consumes a piece of your beard, he can track you through space and time and actually gets all of your memories and thoughts and everything inside of his own head. So he sneaks into the mansion
What the hell?
and pulls the beard scum out of the bottom of the sink and eats it.
What the hell?
This show is awesome.
Sounds
It's
like it.
incredible. I just can't handle.
I don't know how
Grant
you're not
Morrison.
watching it right now. You're not watching it.
I haven't bought the app yet.
You need to get it.
Yeah, I need to get the app apparently.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and it's $74 for a year
yeah,
subscription.
for a year subscription. Jerry, Game of Thrones season finale was this week, right?
It was.
Okay.
It was.
Barry is on the season finale this week. 2 shows I love, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sunday night, I was going home and I was disappointed because I had to watch Game of Thrones instead of watching Doom Patrol.
I just started Barry.
Oh
so
my
don't spoil it
gosh.
for me.
I did too.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just saying I'm not saying Doom Patrol is this amazing show. I'm just saying like I want to watch it. It's what I
Right.
want to watch.
No, that
More than Game of Thrones.
That does make an amazing show then.
But like I said last week, it's super weird and it's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your casual fan is not going to probably
And you
enjoy
had
it.
said that the first 2 episodes were hard to get through.
The first, 2, and then there's several in between that are pretty slow.
Okay.
But every now and again, there's a really good doozy. And then, like, as it goes on now, I feel like I'm getting more invested.
Okay. I started Barry. I just finished the first season.
I watched 15 minutes of it and switched to Chernobyl on HBO.
See, I haven't watched Chernobyl because it scares me. Looks scary.
But a guy eating beard scum out of a sink
That
doesn't
sounds-
frighten you?
No, that sounds completely normal to me.
Okay.
He's just like a little fat dude that lives in his mom's basement, and it's hilarious.
Mom, meatloaf.
He does that basically.
Does he? Mom, beard.
And then they call him,
More
and he's
beard.
like strapping on like his costume, and he's got like nunchucks and a sword in
Why?
the back. Because he's just a
weirdo.
weirdo.
Sounds like something you would do, Chris.
Yeah, but
Do you have nunchucks?
Actually, I do.
Do you?
They're not mine. They're Cash's. He's got them from Taekwondo.
They give you those?
He won them at the Christmas party. Actually,
So has he hurt anyone with them yet?
me no,
Yeah.
but they're real ones.
Okay.
In any case, Game of Thrones
The last episode
Series.
ever.
series finale was
series.
last week. You guys have had 2 weeks. That is past our spoiler grace period, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Caution, there are spoilers ahead for Game of Thrones, the last season, and the last episode. 3, 2, 1.
Sucked.
Yep. Second that.
I am not a fan of what they did here.
Nope. Well,
They took a phenomenal character. Honestly, I think they built Jon Snow up as a really good character throughout the series.
See, I disagree. I've never been a big fan of Jon
I have.
Snow.
I have.
He's been a leader of
So
multiple
whiny
people.
all the time.
No, he wasn't before this.
Well, he keeps getting fucked over.
He was not
I mean,
a whiny
constantly.
before this until they gave him a whole season of where he says basically 2 lines of dialogue and
She's my
nothing
queen.
else.
Yeah.
That's it. How do you take a character that led an army, went to the wall and like built up a ton of friendships there, was always there to like save people,
was Lord
to,
Commander of the Night's
to
Watch.
lead people. He was like built to
And
lead
remember
all
this
of these
for later
people.
on in the show. He wanted to go to the Night's Watch.
Yes,
His whole life's goal was to be the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
and he was.
But yet at the end of the episode, he does not seem happy that he's got to
Well,
go back.
well, No, I wasn't happy that he had to go back either. He was already the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Why do you have the Night's Watch now?
Isn't that where
It's a
he
prison.
wants to go?
It's a prison. He doesn't want to go Night's Watch.
It is a prison. It's
a
prison.
prison.
Yeah.
He wants to go north of the wall. When Giants Bane, Tormund Giants
He
Bane
didn't look happy about it.
Well,
Neither was I.
If I had to, I was pretty pissed off too. I mean, if I had to go north of the wall, live with my nuts froze all the time.
But you said he wanted to.
Well, when he talks to Giants Bane as he's leaving Winterfell, I can't remember the exact dialogue, but they discuss about how he wants to much rather be going with him than going to King's Landing.
Well, he says, the Giants Bane dude says, "You're a Northman. It's in your blood.
Yeah.
That's where you belong." And he more or less agrees with that statement.
Yeah.
But then at the end, you think he'd be happy then to be sent and go up north of the wall. I think he's just disgusted with himself for having killed
But
Daenerys.
Yeah, probably.
But I think
I
that's
would
the
agree.
whole.
I don't
story
think he'll
arc.
ever get over that.
Spoiler alert: he kills Dany. Just to let everybody know.
Well, we already said spoilers, so
And
But my thing is,
in a very in the beginning of the
I
episode.
didn't think he was going to do that, to be honest with you.
I knew that Dany was going to die. Daenerys
Oh, yeah.
was going to
Yeah.
die.
Oh, for sure.
As soon as she turned the dragon loose on the populace,
Yes.
I knew she was dead. Someone was going to kill her. That's the whole point of the movie. But when he's talking to Tyrion, and Tyrion says, "You have fought anybody, the worst enemy of mankind, always. You've always gone after the worst enemy. Who's the worst enemy now?"
Yeah.
He knew what he had to do. And that was just the end of it. So
I mean, he's responsible partially for all those people dying. I think that's why he feels so
Sure.
much remorse and regret.
I agree. And that's, I think, also why he understood why he had to do that.
Yeah.
So he was never in that position again.
I will say there was some things I didn't hate about it. Like, first of all, that scene with her when the dragon's wings are behind her.
That's awesome.
And then
That's
she comes
cool.
out and addresses her troops. I thought that was a really cool
That's
scene.
cool.
And then Tyrion throwing his thing down the stairs.
So time out. There was I saw a thing on Reddit today that said it had a still image of Dany with the dragon behind her with the wings up, and it said, "Can we get some love real quick for the pet handlers that got the dragon to do this shot?" I thought that was really funny.
I mean, that was a visually amazing scene.
It
and
was really great.
cool.
Yeah.
I kind of liked what they did with her character as far as they make you hate her. And then in this episode, when she gets together with Jon, you're falling for it again. You're like, yeah, maybe she is right. Maybe she's got a point.
No.
She does. They make her
it
sympathetic in the end.
No, it makes me go back and think the entire time of the show, she killed everybody. But we were always led to believe that they were bad people.
Right.
Yeah.
They were bad people. So she brainwashed herself to thinking that she is right and everybody else is wrong.
Right.
That's
Well,
the whole point.
She was hiding behind
Absolute
like the
pop.
people that she was
Yes.
freeing. Like she was hiding behind them saying like, I'm being good because of this. Even though a lot of the time, like she didn't have to just murder everyone. But no.
I mean,
she
her
did
arc
do,
more or less makes sense. I mean,
she did
was,
do good.
She's going to make everybody see her point of view.
Well,
That's
she
the whole
always had massive ego.
Yes.
She always had no control.
Yeah, her arc.
She was consistently failed by her advisors.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
point. I agree. Well,
She had no one to trust.
We've talked about it before in one of the prior episodes. I agree with you that her arc is good.
And I
It's
believe
just
that
the
she
people
believes,
around her.
I believe that she believes what she said about you got to tear it all down
Yeah.
to build it back up. And she believes that. I mean, I'm not saying that's the right thing, but that's what she believes. And I think they made that believable and in the end, almost sympathetic.
They made her believable that she
Yeah.
believes that. And
she believed
her
it. Not that I didn't. I thought she was a fucking monster.
and she had a bit of a fall into madness. Like
Yeah.
she became a little bit insane there.
Well, that's the whole point.
That's-
She's always been the Mad King's daughter. She
Right.
has been
She's a
bloodthirsty
Targaryen.
since the entire time. When the first time she set somebody on fire with that dragon.
Yeah.
In the village, she has been a murderer.
I
the entire
totally
time.
knew-
Danny's not my problem.
Now I really thought before she turned it loose, I didn't get it. I thought her and John would live happily ever after, and
Oh,
Yeah.
I knew what was going to happen.
The writing for Jon Snow was my problem. The writing for that Sansa Stark was like not even there, and then all of a sudden at the end she gets to be a big shot.
fucking look at Bran.
Yeah,
That
and then
was-
Bran.
that
Says
was
4
horrible.
words the entire season.
Yeah, Bran does nothing, and then he's up there, and they're like, "Well, he should be king because his dick don't work."
Completely unbelievable and
that
ridiculous.
doesn't make sense either.
Nobody would get. Come on. First of all, what needed to happen there was everybody needed to stand up and say, Jon Snow should be king.
Yeah.
And then be some drama around that. First of all, I think it's completely unbelievable that the Unsullied are like holding this city.
Yes.
And then like not killing these people.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah, right. You killed everyone else.
Yeah, so you're just not going to kill Jon Snow and Tyrion, even though you think that they're traitors?
They could have made it a
I
lot
think
easier
they
for
knew that
themselves.
well, this is my aspect of it, thinking of it from this point of view. They're trapped.
But they don't care.
That's the whole point.
Do you think they care about their lives at all?
I don't know.
I would.
Not in the slightest. Well, you would, sure, but they're like dickless, so
They're
they don't
like
care.
I mean, they're so obsessed with
Literally,
Dany,
like they've
and then she gets killed. So you think like they'd be like, whatever, we're gonna kill these people, and then we're just gonna stand here and we're gonna fight you.
Yeah, that's all they've been made for.
I just thought that whole thing was unbelievable, and then
Samuel Tarly stands up and he's like, "Let's have democracy."
I thought they were gonna go that route,
so
and
did
that, if
I.
they did it, I was shutting the show.
Yeah, I
off.
was like,
They're
fuck
like,
you.
"Let's have democracy." And they're like,
Well, I really thought they're going
I
to
mean, they played it as a joke, and I thought it was actually really funny.
"Yeah,
And it totally makes sense for his character.
Sure,
but I thought
it
they were going to
does.
go that direction, and I was going to shut it off. Because I'm like, this is ridiculous. But it is hilarious when Sansa
I thought they're gonna
sets
go-
her uncle down and is like, sit down.
yeah,
sit down.
stop
Just sit
it."
down. I really thought they were going to go back to Seven Kingdoms. I thought the Iron Throne is gone. If you were one of them kingdoms, why would you give a shit?
That's another great point is King's Landing is destroyed.
Yes,
The
Okay.
North gets to go, why don't I? Fuck you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Why would any of those lords who we know through the entire series of this show don't give a shit about pretty much anybody else?
anyone.
All of them.
Why are they all of a sudden getting together and electing a leader? Or why wouldn't they just be like, well, no,
Brand the Broken.
Yeah.
We're going to let the guy that hasn't done shit.
we're going to elect this guy that we don't know.
wait.
None of these people know who he is.
Who literally
He can
stared?
see the past.
He stared into
He
nothingness
knows. Oh my God.
in a chair the
But
whole time.
none of them even know who he is.
Right.
No.
I don't even
Except for the
think
guy from River Run.
I don't even think Sansa and any of them really know who he is. I don't think they understand it. How could you at that time understand what he's telling you? Most of them should think he's kind of insane.
I mean, I mean, I understand
fair.
not giving Jon Snow the king, even though that would have created more drama.
But
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the book. There are no fucking happy endings.
Yeah.
There are no happy endings in life.
I feel like Sansa probably would have been a better choice.
Yeah.
A more realistic choice. And then to be like, okay, we're going to make Bran the king. And I know they did the whole thing with Tyrion, like, oh, we had to compromise, so you got to go to the wall.
Yeah.
Like,
know
no,
what
you
I
don't.
You know what I thought was
Because there's a king now.
You don't.
So as he's walking out to the ships, I'm thinking, here comes Drogon. Drogon's gonna land. Jon Snow's gonna jump on
Jump
this dragon
on
on his back and just take the fuck off and just.
I thought
I'm gone.
that was
Fuck you.
100% was going to happen when
So did
when
I.
the dragon landed after he killed her.
Yep.
I'm like, he's going to get on that dragon.
Yep.
And
That's what I kind of wanted
He's a
to
new
happen.
dragon lord.
Yeah.
He gets it.
It makes sense
but
because he could
instead,
ride
the
them.
dragon somehow understands geopolitics and decides to melt the Iron Throne, an object which, of course, it cannot discern.
In season when
I don't. Do you really know
well,
dragon
but-
physiology?
No, I mean,
though?
George R. R. Martin has said they're incredibly intelligent.
yes,
but
because Tyrion hints at that when he releases the two dragons in not Mirren. What's the city that she takes hold of at the pyramid?
I don't remember.
She has the two in the basement chained up.
Yeah.
He releases them because he says that they are highly intelligent creatures and they understand more than we let on.
Yeah.
So
I didn't really like that whole round table scene when they did that. I didn't care for the scene when Tyrion. I'm glad he got made Hand of the King, I guess. I thought it would have been cooler if he got made the Lord of Lannisport
do-
and he went back to rule like
Well, I do
Casterly
like
Rock.
the
Casterly
explanation.
Rock. Yeah, that's what it is.
I do like the explanation of why he's making him hand. I think that was kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it was kind of cool because he
Oh,
knows
it's his burden to live
Yeah.
in opulence and wealth.
Yes, and he, well, yeah, but he also
Sign
says
me
like,
up.
I want no part of. I can't remember exactly what he says, but then Bran says, "That's exactly why I'm going to do this to you, so that you have to watch that
But-
happen."
but-
he doesn't
Bran-
want it. He doesn't want it. The same reason that Bran doesn't want the throne.
Right.
They
Yeah,
don't
but
want it. That's
Bran
what
in
it
his infinite wisdom allows him to give
Yeah.
the other guy the High Garden and allow him to be the master of
is.
coin.
What the heck
Yeah.
is his name?
Simply
Braun
for
of the Blackwater.
simply because he promised not to kill him.
yeah,
That makes sense.
Is your debt paid to the crown? Yep.
Yep.
I'll master a coin too. We need to build more brothels.
Mr. King, now that I'm the hand, I just want to. There's this guy that was going to kill me with a crossbow, and I promised that he could have the biggest kingdom.
Right. And he does this. And he just stares off into nothingness.
Everybody's where they're
We can
supposed to be.
have that.
No,
That was annoying to me.
Area, the ending for her is pretty good.
I disagree.
Oh, now I
Very
thought,
much disliked it.
Well, I thought that she was going to use her faceless man powers that she used twice in the entire fucking series.
Yeah.
and straight up,
exactly.
That's a really good
exactly
point.
right.
They like set that up forever, and then it was a complete.
She
She
faceless
wore one.
man.
She wore one mask one time, and it was to slice that one
again,
guy's throat.
the season just so
Frey,
rushed.
Walter Frey. She murders the Freys, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was the beginning of season 7, which
Yep.
that set the whole tone. It was awesome. But I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna kill somebody, or she's gonna slaughter Grey Room, wear his mask, kill Danny, and she's gonna sneak away, and nobody's ever gonna know about it. And then this Jon Snow just knifes her ass. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was she got probably killed a little too early. I mean, it's just the whole thing. Again, it's just too rushed.
It was.
is.
My notes are hilarious on this, by the way. Game of Thrones notes.
Let's read them.
Danny, stupid ending. Bran sucks. Unsullied, unbelievable. Those are my notes.
Tell us what you really think.
Yeah, no, that's it. George R.R. Martin did come out and say that he liked what they did with this last
Really?
2 seasons.
He has to. He's under contract to say that shit.
I really think they're gonna do something down the road.
They're not. Apparently,
They
I
said
thought
that,
so
they
too.
said the same thing about Deadwood, and guess what's coming out in
Well,
2 months?
Could be.
No, May. It comes out May
No,
31st.
What's happening is they're
Next
giving
week?
those 2 guys that made that Game of Thrones. They're giving them a Star Wars franchise.
Are they?
Yeah.
DB Weiss and
Yeah, they're.
Well, they should.
Benoist.
I mean, you know, Disney, they like making money.
I mean,
They
here's
do.
the deal. They're writing their show was great when George R.R. Martin was involved,
Yeah.
and then once he quit being involved, it kind of went downhill. Season 7 was terrible.
No.
Season 8 was terrible.
7 wasn't necessarily terrible,
say
but it wasn't
terrible.
as good as before. But right now, I don't feel like it was bad in comparison to the one we
I've
just
read the
watched.
books because there's a lot more magic in the books. I mean, there's a lot.
I've read all the books as well, but I mean this goes way past where the books were at.
Correct. Oh yeah.
Actually, I didn't read the 4th book.
I was just going to say, have you read the most recent one that just came out like a couple of years ago?
Winds of Winter is supposed to be out any freaking time.
Right. But there was another one that
I
came out
read the
besides
first, three, which was
Well,
A
'cause-
Storm of Swords, A Feast of Crows, and then the other one.
I could look on my
The
phone.
4th
but
one was something
Jon
with
Snow-
Dance with Dragons, I think.
See,
I don't think I read that one.
no, Dance of Dragons is a time period of when the Targaryen rebellion happened way back.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But see the
That's Fire and Blood.
Okay. I don't know.
the last
I don't know.
the last book ends with Jon Snow laying in a heap of blood at the Castle Black. That's where the book ends. Everything after that in Game of Thrones is the writers.
Yeah,
doing-
so that's what season 4.
Like when he gets killed.
yeah,
That's season
when you get-
4, isn't it?
6. He comes back to
No,
life.
it's season 4.
No, it's 4. Yeah.
It's season 5 and on. We're past the books.
yeah.
No,
Pretty sure.
because they had to split up Storm of Swords into 2 seasons. It was so long. So
don't
much
But I
happens
remember-
in Storm of Swords.
I'm almost positive season 4 ends with him laying
Let's-
in a pool of
well,
blood after he was just
There
gutted
are 3
like a
computers
fish.
sitting in front of us and 3 smartphones.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
No. Time frame 58 minutes. We need to start
Yeah.
the big event.
Game of Thrones finale.
General thoughts, Chris. What do you think? We know what you think.
I was actually pretty dissatisfied, of course, but yeah, no, I guess that's it. I was pretty unhappy with it. I just thought it was too rushed. Really, more than anything, I just felt like it was too rushed, and not one single character had an ending that you agreed with or thought was fitting. It just felt like a very unsatisfying end to a very
except for
unsatisfying season.
Podrick is a King's Guard.
Yeah, but I don't care about him.
and the Hound. The Hound is the only one I liked. I liked how the Hound got to die with his
that's
brother.
cool.
Other than that,
I don't need the scene with Brienne writing in the freaking book.
Nope.
It's
I
not-
don't, I don't need basically any of this season. I wasn't a fan of it. I'm not going to be one of those people
like
that
how
like
Night
signs a
King died. I haven't seen
petition
you
to
two.
say to redo the season because that's out there. They've got petitions
Yeah, well,
out
that's
there.
never going to happen.
Yeah, it's
so.
not going to happen.
No, I
HBO made
understand
too much
that. I'm
money.
just saying I'm not one of those people that would do something like that. Like, where I'm going to take it at face value and say, like, this is the season and that's what it was. Like, this is the end of one of the greatest stories ever written. This is the end of one of the greatest shows ever made. All in all, could it have ended better?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'll bide my time until we get Lord of the Rings back on
Amazon.
Well,
Yeah, Amazon.
HBO has already said they're making two spinoffs. The second one they haven't named, but the first one is supposed to be Robert's Rebellion. It's supposed to be how
shows or movies.
more
mini
Game
series.
of series. So probably I'm hoping they're going to be like hour and a half longs like the last season was, which I enjoyed an hour and a half show a lot more than an hour show because time you get into it, it's oh shit, it's over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
just hard to do because
Isn't that
you're
crazy
talking
though?
about a decade of getting, following these characters.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what we have to end with. Like, it's very
I know.
unsettling. But think about that. This is going in a completely different direction. But you just said like how it's better to watch an hour and a half long episode when we go to see movies that are hour and a half long, and you think like, yes, this is what a movie should be, and they're wrapping up an entire storyline usually beginning to end in that hour and a half.
Yeah.
And in 6 episodes, so of 9 hours worth of content, they cannot wrap up
the
these
last
content.
episode was
this
only
content.
58 minutes long, start to finish.
No, it was an hour and 25, and then take off the ending. It was like an hour
80
and 10.
something.
The last episode was only 58 minutes long. I looked as soon as it started. I hit the button. I looked at the bottom of my
So
screen.
either way, what I'm getting at is like this season
sorry.
was like 7.5 hours
Yeah.
at least, or 8 hours worth of content, and they couldn't wrap up, 6 to 7 storylines. They couldn't do it.
It's a lot of storylines, though.
It is, and
That
that's
show had a lot of storylines.
so. That's why I'm saying make it another 8 episodes, or make it another season.
I think
don't know.
the problem that happened with the show started early on, and which of course they covered the content of nearly 4 books in 5 seasons,
Yeah,
and then they had 3 more seasons
yeah.
or 4 more, depending on if it was 4
books
or
that
5.
haven't even been written yet.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that was a lot of content they covered, and nobody had any complaints about the first 4 seasons.
Nope.
They fit that all in just fine.
I'm really curious as to what George R. R. Martin is writing now and how it's going to.
Apparently, 4 more shows for HBO, 2 shows for Hulu, and another show somewhere else.
Can't even finish Game of Thrones. How's he gonna have time to do that?
He's doing that stuff?
Yeah, and writing Game of Thrones.
My gosh.
back a truckload of money up to my door any day.
That's
start wrapping
incredible.
crap.
So, on to the big event.
The big event. Top 10 worst
comic book movies. This was Jerry's idea.
I like
It is.
I like
'Cause
it.
there are some bad comic book movies out
Actually,
there.
I do believe Erica had requested this.
Oh, did she?
A couple months ago, actually.
Old,
I seem to remember that. I was looking back in our Facebook messages and I couldn't find it, but I'm positive she had said
Well, I'm
something
sure
about
Erica would have liked to be here for this episode, but we brought her cousin instead.
it. Yeah. And she has to live in Florida.
right now, she's just cringing that you guys let the cat out of the bag.
That's okay. I think
Poor
it's okay.
Erica. She has to live with that guilt.
Yeah. Well, it's your fault. So, not ours.
So we're doing the top 10 worst comic book movies. Here are some of the rules that I went by.
Okay.
You didn't say there were rules.
I didn't say there were rules. I'm just saying these are the rules I gave to myself.
I didn't make rules, so
Yeah, same
All right.
here.
So you made no rules.
No.
Okay.
If it's a comic,
Here's
it
the
has to-
I shouldn't call them rules. Here's the criteria I
you
went
go.
by.
Okay.
I only picked movies that I've seen. I've actually seen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I know there's a ton of movies like crappy Marvel movies from like the 80s that they made,
Yeah.
like those Captain America movies, which I actually have like a bunch of those.
And there was a Supergirl movie that was a British movie that they
Well,
made.
we shouldn't be
and-
talking about because maybe somebody else has seen them and they're on the list.
I have seen every movie on my list.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
all
just
right.
saying I only picked movies that I saw, and me personally, I only picked movies that were meant to be real movies, not like made for TV movies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I got one that
It's fine. You can do your list however you want, but I just didn't pick made for TV movies or movies that didn't have real high profile releases. I picked high profile release movies.
I picked comic book movies that had to be actual comic books in print, and then they made it into a movie.
That's fine.
That was it.
Okay. So
And I had to see them. I've seen everything on my list.
So go. We'll start right here at number 10.
Number 10. Who
go
wants to start? Let's
right
go.
around. Start with you.
You want to do it like that?
You want to start with me?
All right.
You want to be last? You want to have the final word?
Let Jerry have the final word for once.
My number 10 worst comic book movie is Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I went to see this movie in the theaters. I didn't dislike it the first time around. I mean, there was a lot I didn't like about it. But if you remember, Jerry, when I was on vacation, I told you I rewatched Suicide Squad when I was in the hotel. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
It's
it really
horrible.
is.
It is horrible.
And there are certain things I really do like about the movie, like the first half an hour or so when they do the individual characters.
Yeah.
And they're like giving their backstory a little bit. I think that part's really cool. Will Smith in that movie, I think he's really good. I think he does a great job. He's a great Deadshot.
He's a great Deadshot.
But the plot of that movie makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
The villains are awful, faceless, nameless.
Yeah.
Like, we need to make this R-rated movie PG-13, so we need to just kill like monsters instead of people.
And that's all it was. Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to
And-
kill monsters.
And the Joker in it is horrible. It's just an offense on
I really
everything.
had high hopes for not Leto.
Yeah. Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
I honestly
You
did.
had high hopes after seeing pictures before that movie came out?
No, not with all the tattoos. I was like,
The
oh, God.
tattoos? and
I
the-
honestly had
the
high
grills?
hopes.
Well,
yeah.
just because his acting previously, I mean, it was right up there with Keith Ledger, psychopath wise. I mean, that's the Joker is.
I don't know. We've talked about Jared Leto again a lot on this show, and I can't. I don't
He
know.
never
what,
names any movies, and
What
I always
movie
name
has he
the same-
been in? Everybody says he's a great actor, but in what?
Dallas Buyers Club.
The only movie that we
Fight Club.
He's not in Fight Club.
Yes, he is.
barely in Fight
He's in
Club.
Fight Club for like 3 minutes.
Okay, that does not count. He's in Dallas Buyers Club, and he is good in that.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
a coked out.
What's another one?
Oh God, I hate
What's another Jared Leto
I
movie?
hate it, Chris. You're right.
I don't know.
Okay, you're right.
But why does everybody think he's so great?
I don't know. Because
apparently for the 4 movies he's in, he's really good.
he was in a few apparently that are acclaimed
Well, anyway,
critically.
so that was my pick. I figured I'd get more pushback on that one.
No, it's a horrible movie. I just think there's worse ones.
Okay. All right. It's Dude's turn.
Okay, I did 2 lists.
Oh, by the way, before you see that, Jared Leto is playing Morbius. Did you know that?
I did know that.
In a
yes.
standalone
The
Morbius,
vampire.
the living vampire
Yeah.
movie, the Spider-Man villain,
Yeah,
Morbius.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he could do fine with that.
So they're
as
gonna
long as
do
he
that.
doesn't-
They're
Really?
doing that.
Do you think they'll tattoo damaged on his head?
Yeah. Nothing says chaos
Yeah.
and the spirit of chaos like artfully placed tattoos.
Exactly.
A smile on your hand.
All right, dude. You're
All right, I did 2 lists. One is awesomely bad, just because they're my favorite bad superhero movies, which I'll get into. That
Are you
later.
doing them simultaneously,
No,
or
I'm
are
not.
you doing
I'm
one?
not. I'm gonna do the horrible. My top.
Yeah,
10
we'll do the
bad,
top 10 bad
just
ones
bad
first.
movies.
Okay.
Okay, number 10, Superman Returns, 2006.
Oh, I completely forgot about that movie.
I didn't put it on there though because I didn't really mind it.
That's a Brandon Routh.
Which would go into the horribly bad category for you. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's horrible.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
because you like it, but it's still bad.
Yeah.
That was Brandon Routh,
Yeah.
and I thought he was a good, all right Superman.
They have the
Well,
one scene in that movie.
He actually they picked him because he looked like.
He does look exactly like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
That's why they picked him, because it's a direct sequel to actually.
It is, and I forgot about that. It is a direct sequel to the Christopher Reeve movies.
I guess I didn't realize that.
And
It
who
is.
played Lex Luthor in that?
Oh, the guy from Smallville.
Oh no, it was Kevin Spacey.
No, it was Kevin Spacey. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I was thinking. Like, thou shalt
Can
who
they
shall
can they
not be
still
named.
play that movie anymore?
I just thought there was a really cool scene in that movie where a guy shoots a bullet directly at him, like right
Yeah.
at his eyeball, and they show it slow motion, just like breaking apart on his eye.
I
And
always
thought
thought,
that was so cool.
cool.
Whoever played Lois Lane was pretty good in that movie.
I don't know.
I can't remember. But
Sarah
yeah, if
Michelle
you
Gellar.
want a superhero movie about like weird real estate political stuff,
Oh, to kill Superman. That's all he's trying to do.
That was a weird movie. It was a weird one. But that was it Bryan Singer? Yeah.
I don't remember
Kevin
much of
Singer.
the plot of that.
No, it's Superman returns from his hiatus, gone. So
Yeah.
Lois Lane writes a paper about
And he had a kid, right?
that doesn't come out to the very end of the movie because Lois Lane has a child.
That's right. Yes.
Which is so he's gone. He comes back, and Lois Lane writes a paper because she's all pissed off at him about how the world doesn't need Superman. So
yeah, Kate Bosworth. That's
it.
Lois
She's
Lane
from
was.
Blue, whatever, some
Blue Oyster Cult. She was in the 70s band.
Yeah, Don't Fear the Reaper. Go ahead.
But so he comes back and he picks it right away, lets off, and Lex Luthor gets all pissed off, gets out of jail because Superman doesn't come to his court date, and marries a rich woman and takes all her money, and then figures out a way to cross kryptonite with an asteroid and makes a whole nother continent, and that's why it's so horribly bad.
You know so
That's
much
another
about
thing
this
I forgot
movie.
about that movie. So you can't talk about Kevin Spacey,
Right.
and you can't talk about Bryan Singer. He's
No,
totally
yeah,
blacklisted,
he's blacklisted too.
Why?
Yeah.
Sexual assault.
Inappropriate touching of actresses,
Young underage men.
young underage men.
He would throw
That's
these.
no problem. That's not blacklisted.
He
That's,
would-
that's pedophilia.
He
Oh,
would
yeah, that's
throw
bad.
these parties and invite like underage
Boys.
boys and get them drunk or on drugs, and
Turns out Dave Chappelle was
them.
right.
yeah,
Him and Kevin Spacey.
yeah,
were
he's
doing that
he's
stuff.
on the no list for Hollywood.
Anyway,
So
okay, Jer.
my number 10, Suicide Squad.
Oh, really?
Yes. As soon as you said it, I started laughing.
Oh,
so yeah, I put Suicide Squad as 10 as well because it is remarkably unrewatchable.
Yeah, it is
Like,
not
you
rewatchable.
can't watch that again. I don't like basically any parts of it except for the very beginning where they show you they're like basically like cards of
Yeah,
the characters, like listing out their attributes and like giving you a backstory of each character. That part I thought was neat. After that, it's all
you didn't like Killer
downhill.
Croc?
No.
You didn't like Random Fire Guy?
No.
That was the only one that had
Yeah.
any real power or any.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Deadshot, like you say, is a good character, but
They
All of
were-
those characters were woefully inadequate compared to what they were trying to fight.
Yeah.
They wrecked Killer Croc. Just
Well,
I
and
mean,
what is Harley Quinn with a baseball bat?
it's a little girl with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
hey man, they need eye candy to make money.
Well, hey, that worked.
It
And they
worked.
made
It
a
worked.
lot of money. That movie made a lot of money.
For like
Enough-
the first 30 seconds till they realized it was horrible.
It made enough.
It made like $800 million
Impact.
or something.
Well, and it made enough impact for them to say, like, we're going to do this again.
Yeah, we're gonna do this again.
It's not a
hopefully
sequel.
rated R version
It's not a sequel, but it's like, we're going to take these characters and we're going to do it all again.
with James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Marvel or if DC would just take some couple cues from Marvel and follow the comic book.
Exactly. Like, don't.
I mean, I would say that, but I don't know anything about the Suicide Squad comic book.
I
I've
don't
never read it.
either.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't either,
watch,
but-
watch Suicide Squad, the animated.
I've seen the movie.
the animated one.
Yeah.
Just do that, but in real life.
That's DC's
DC
problem.
should just remake all of their animated movies as live action movies.
Absolutely.
They would make a killing.
Because their animated movies are awesome.
And they have a big following. Like,
the-
there's a lot of people
Well,
that think that.
Batman was like, what? There's close to a dozen. And then
Oh, geez. I don't
Justice
even know how many. Yeah.
And then Justice League has 4 or 5, and
Yeah.
they're good. And then you get the whole Aquaman, Atlantis
There's
series,
a ton.
Flash. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Flashpoint. That's a
Justice
great.
League Dark. Amazing. I can't
Yeah.
believe you probably still haven't seen that, Jerry.
I haven't. No,
All right.
Sorry.
What?
We got to
watched
move
it
them
yet, sorry.
forward.
Okay.
Go.
Number 9 for me is not necessarily a movie that I thought was the worst thing in the world. However, there were aspects of the movie that just made me insane.
Yeah.
That would be Wolverine Origins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Their treatment of Deadpool for a hardcore Deadpool fan
Yep.
that had been waiting their entire life
To
for
see it.
any glimpse of Deadpool. And I think
I heard Wade Wilson. I went, what?
yeah, I think there had been one thing with Deadpool in it in an animated movie prior to that. And like it was one of the, I can't even remember now. I think it was a Hulk movie or something.
He was in the Spider-Man universe for a little while, and I think there was a Hulk movie. It was him and Wolverine.
Yeah,
and
I think it was that one
Marvel.
Hulk versus Wolverine or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know, but I was super excited. I honestly at that time thought Ryan Reynolds was the perfect Deadpool. And then even at the beginning of the movie, they kind of get that character right, even though the origins are completely wrong. But they kind of, and then it just goes off the wall, and they make this ridiculous, like
even his
mutant Deadpool.
Yeah, why did they do that?
They sew his mouth shut, which doesn't even for that character.
I'm surprised Ryan Reynolds went along with any of that.
And he was a huge Deadpool fan, and I think that he was just like, this is my opportunity to play this character. But there were some cool things about that movie. I like some of the little Easter eggs. There were a lot of Easter eggs in that movie, like when he fights the Blob.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool.
Gambit.
I remember going to see that in theaters.
Yeah,
I thought it was really
Gambit
great.
in there. I forgot about that. Then we're gonna make a Gambit movie after that.
Yeah, who was it? It was the guy from
The dancing movie.
Kevin Bacon.
No.
Footloose.
Oh, Kevin Bacon's gonna be Gambit.
Gotta
That's
get
perfect.
loose.
That's perfect.
Footloose.
Stop that.
Kick up Sunday shoes.
Chris is standing up singing right now for you people out there.
Yeah.
No, and then what was the black cowboy that teleports?
I forgot.
Who
He was
cares?
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, it just wasn't a good movie.
Right.
Dude, number 9.
Number 9, Captain America, 1990.
Oh. I have that movie on DVD.
I had it and I love that movie. That's why it's not higher up on the list, but it is so bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
He's wearing a giant rubber suit to make him have muscles.
I remember the scene of him like climbing up the mountain, the Red Skull's mountain to his like lair, and I'm like, oh my God. But that was a movie, I swear to God, as like a huge comic book fan growing up.
Same here.
And there wasn't anything for us.
That's
That
why
was
it's
it.
That's
was
why
it.
it's number 9 and not further up because it's so bad.
I mean, that and
whole-
Batman.
Well, that's part of my other list. Is some of those movies you go back and watch them. They're like the original 1989 Batman. If you go back and watch it,
I still
It's-
like it.
We will
I still
agree to
love it.
disagree on that.
Yes.
I love
will.
it. I love it. I'll watch it right now.
Yeah.
But it's you compare it to The Dark Knight. It's pretty.
Oh, well.
it's hokey.
like production
I got
quality
one
is-
question for
yeah.
you, dude.
What?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Michael
I
Keaton.
thought you were going to say, you ever
Hashtag-
dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Michael Keaton. Sorry. Hashtag Michael Keaton is Batman.
Yeah. What
Yes.
that line, by the way, it means nothing.
Yeah.
What?
Whatever
The-
dance with the devil in the
Devil
pale
in the Pale
moonlight. I think
Moonlight?
like Jack
just, like,
Nicholson
made
just
it up.
made it up.
Yeah, it was a good line, though.
It does. It makes it makes you think that there's more to it, but there's
Yeah.
not. So yeah, no, I remember getting that movie as a kid, or like not as a little kid, but maybe
I remember renting it on VHS, the Mazan Market.
yeah. And I remember
Yes.
just being so excited, and then you watched it and you were so let down, but you still just watched it
It's like,
over
it's
and over and
Captain
over
America
again.
in the shield. He threw the shield and it bounced off stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Dad, watch this. This is stupid.
Yeah, and there was I don't know if they're on anybody else's list, but going along with that, they had these old Spider-Man movies from like the 1970s where I just remember it was like a guy dressed as Spider-Man. He would jump on a truck and he'd throw a web, but it was like a rope web, like over the windshield. Super terrible quality, and that goes along with that.
That's where the theme song for Spider-Man Far From Home at the end, they're playing it. That's where that music comes from, is that 70s theme, Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
At the end.
All right, Jerry, you're on to number 9.
My number 9, Hulk.
What?
Eric Bana. The Eric Bana Hulk.
The Ang Lee Hulk from
Yeah.
what was that? 2003.
Just because you like it doesn't mean it's bad, Chris.
I mean,
It is pretty bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
I think the
It's not my
Edward Norton one was better.
Oh, definitely. No doubt about that.
And I
you don't
remember
like Jennifer Connelly?
Well,
it has nothing to do with liking her.
Hulk-
it has everything to do
That
with
girl's all eyebrows.
the Hulk is
Hulk was
just not good.
Hulk was pre Marvel owning the rights
Yeah.
to their movies.
Yeah, that was a Universal movie, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
It was like the
They
first
still
thing that
don't
came
own the
out
rights
that
to
was
that.
like a big deal. And I remember like being super excited to go see it. Went and saw it. Loved it as a kid. Anytime I've ever went back to it, I was like,
I remember an
"Oh,
interview with Stan
boy."
Lee going,
Yeah,
we
bueno.
had to change it up. Now there's going to be nanites involved with the beta radiation.
Who was the bad guy in that?
Nick Nolte.
Yes, it was Nick Nolte.
Oh, Nick Nolte's awesome.
He's insane.
He's
I'm
the Hulk's
pretty-
dad. It's like, what the fuck? This is the most worst.
Pretty
horror-
positive he's clinically insane.
Okay, maybe I need to rewatch this movie because I don't remember it being that bad. I do remember everybody hating it, but I remember thinking the filmmaking was kind of cool.
It didn't follow his origin story.
at all.
I liked what he did with the windows,
And he would,
the screen. They'd like split it up and almost kind of look like comic book panels.
Yeah, they did do
Yeah,
that.
that's cool.
But he like would jump fly places.
Yeah,
I was just like,
the CGI was pretty bad
Yeah.
back in 2003.
but like I said, at the time, I enjoyed it. I thought it was so great, and I remember like talking it up big time.
Oh,
I was not one of the people that didn't like it at the time. I
neither.
loved it.
I went
But-
and saw it in theaters.
and I remember being so
So did
excited
I.
that
So did
Ang
I.
Lee was like a hardcore filmmaker. And
Yep.
he was making a comic book movie.
Yeah.
At the time.
And I'm just not a fan. Not a big fan. It's one of the movies. It's one of the movies that I just won't go back and watch again because
Yeah.
it's useless to me. So it's that's why I have it as number 9 because I still like Hulk.
It's
like
similar
the Hulk
to Wolverine
property,
Origins
like all that. Yeah,
for me. You know what I mean?
It
Like,
just
I'll watch that movie again. Probably more so than Hulk. I would watch Wolverine Origins before.
I would too. I would definitely watch that more so than Hulk. That's why I don't have that.
I don't know about
as 9.
Suicide Squad, but all right, for me, number 8 is Elektra,
Oh, okay.
I forgot
a
about
movie
that
which I barely remember
Yeah.
because it's so forgettable.
Yep. It's very a lot of knives.
And
but
unlike the
one. Size?
lot less-
Size or knives?
size.
I'm gonna call them knives, and we're gonna call
I
them
know
like a lot less.
Do you know why I know the difference between the two?
why?
Teenage.
Yeah, T
well, of
and
course.
T, man. Of course, Raphael.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a note about that.
What size and Raphael?
Yeah,
Okay.
Raphael is based off of Elektra.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
You shitting me.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like stem from Daredevil altogether.
That didn't come out till about 2 years ago.
No.
What are you talking about?
Like when the comic book came out, it came out as like a spoof from Daredevil.
Yeah, the
Really?
turtles got their
Yeah.
powers
Th-
from the
same
radioactive waste
dude-
that went down from Matt Murdock's accident.
Being blinded and it caused
Splinter is a direct ripoff of
them to
Stick,
stick.
in Daredevil.
Oh.
The Foot Clan is a direct ripoff of the
The hand.
Click. Lick bulb.
And Elektra wears red flowy things and has size, and Raphael has
Raphael.
red and size.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
So anyway, Elektra, I don't remember that much about it. A lot of people dislike, and you'll find it on a lot of worst comic book lists, is Daredevil. I've always loved that movie Daredevil, even though when you go back and rewatch it, it's pretty cheesy, but I still like it. The scene when they're fighting in the playground, him and Elektra, is really bad.
It's bad.
But there's good moments to that. So if any of you have it in your list, we'll fight about it then. But Elektra, that spinoff they made, I don't even remember what it was about.
Doesn't even matter.
Nope.
But
Yep.
and I remember being excited because I liked the Daredevil movie.
And
I
here's
just remember Jennifer Gardner in
Yeah.
tight red clothing.
well,
Yeah.
here's my thing is like as annoying as Jennifer Garner was in that show Camping that I talk about because she is so freaking annoying and
Yeah.
I can't stand her. I would much rather see her play that character than Elektra.
She was a terrible Elektra.
Not
and
a good cast.
And she was a horrible casting decision.
Yeah, no.
She
Supposed
does
to be
not.
Asian, so
right.
No, she's Greek. Elektra Nachios. She's Greek.
Okay, but it's not Jennifer Garner.
No, Jennifer Garner was absolutely terrible casting. Like casting America's sweetheart to play like an assassin woman doesn't make any sense.
Not gonna happen.
She got that role because of Alias, the TV show.
Yes. Now Alias was a good show.
I forgot about
I never really watched it, but
Alias was a good show.
number 8, dude.
Okay, number 8, I have Fantastic Four. All 4 movies, if you don't know.
Oh, you
94, which is the secret one you got to look for. I've seen it, and it's
94 is the Fantastic Four movie
Yes.
that literally was filmed and never intended to be released. They only filmed it because they were going to lose the rights
Yeah,
to the movie.
so-
So they made a movie with no intention of releasing it.
I didn't know
They
that.
didn't tell the directors.
Yep.
They didn't tell the cast.
What?
Look for it. It's out there.
There's
I never
actually a
watched
documentary
it.
about it called Doomed.
So it goes 94, 2015, which is the newest version of it, which is really bad. Not
Yes.
as bad as the 94 version, but the 2015 one's bad. Then 07, which is Silver Surfer, and then 05. There's the whole Fantastic Four genre, which they just screwed it all up. It's just bad.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
The 94 one, by the way, they have, like when they do Mr. Fantastic stretching,
Yeah.
they like show his arm move, and then they cut, and then they have a broomstick with a rubber hand on the end that they stick out.
The thing is a guy wearing a rubber mask. It's literally, you can see his eyes.
It was never intended to be released. They spent no money on it.
They had to do it to keep the film rights to the movie, which is the same reason why they put it out in 2015. If they didn't make another movie, they're going to.
No, I knew that. So I knew
that's
that
why.
part.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, that's mine.
I mean, I guess it's cheating to do all those movies in one, but fine.
Anything for Fantastic Four movies is horrible, so I just grouped them into one.
All right. Your number, what?
8.
My number 8
Carrie.
is going to be, it's a little bit different than your guys's that you've had so far. And it's going to be Blade Trinity.
Okay.
The third Blade movie. The first one, I liked the first Blade.
One's excellent.
Yeah,
I
first
liked
one's
it.
good.
I liked it a lot.
I don't remember the second one.
The
but
second one I don't remember as much
That's when
either,
they were hunting the evil vampires.
It
that
didn't-
were sucking other vampires.
yeah,
and shit like
I
that.
don't. It didn't like affect me as much as Blade Trinity did. Was not a fan. So what I feel like they did, like I feel like Ryan Reynolds was playing his Deadpool
he was.
in Blade Trinity.
That was like the first. That was very much that character.
It's the only
It
shining.
was the Wolverine origins.
It was
Wade Wilson.
It's
character.
the only shining star in that movie. I think. I feel like where this failed is that Wesley Snipes is a dick.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he
like-
hated everybody. He hated everything. He didn't want to be doing the movie to begin with, and everything was forced out of him. And
He was flat broke. He was underneath tax evasion.
yeah.
So
Yep. And it just
I don't remember.
it's not a
at
good
the
movie.
time disliking that movie, and I haven't gone back and really watched it since I was probably when
was-
did that come out? I was probably in
Oh
college,
geez,
right?
I'm not sure. I'd have to
Mid
look it up.
2000s.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
I think I've only seen it the one
Early.
time. I don't really remember anything about it. I remember not thinking Ryan Reynolds and who was the girl? Jessica Biel?
yes, Jessica Biel.
I remember not thinking they were terrible in it.
No, I don't mind them. I just didn't like the way Wesley Snipes was in it because looking back on it, he just wasn't good. And
he's old.
the other movie, I was so hyped. I loved the original Blade movie.
Yeah, I
it was
still
so
love
good. The second one wasn't necessarily as good, but I remember it being like on par, like okay, like we're still going out on this. And then the third one came, and I was like, meh, it felt like the Matrix trilogy to me.
Yeah.
Ryan
Reynolds
had a
got
gun.
worse and worse.
Ryan Reynolds had a gun that had a camera in it, so he could play back who he shot.
I don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
It's
But
on there. It's on there.
I do remember Patton Oswalt. There was he came out and I guess he was on that movie and he came out. He was doing an interview talking about that movie and Wesley Snipes and how crazy he was.
Yeah.
And he said his trailer was just like a cloud of pot smoke, and he made everybody call him Blade, and he didn't talk to anybody. He would write on Post-it notes what he wanted to say to somebody, and then he would sign every Post-it note Blade and give them to people instead of talking to them.
What an idiot.
All right. So, yes, that's a good choice.
Thank you.
My number-
I look for your approval.
You should. My number 7 will be Batman and Robin.
Oh man.
Joel Schumacher's epic finale.
Yeah.
That's on my list. I'm just gonna say it's pretty big to talk about now. It's bad.
Well, we'll wait, then we'll talk about it later. You go. What's your
Yeah.
number
Steel.
7?
Steel. I was
Steel.
gonna put that on here and I didn't.
Shaquille
do it.
O'Neal as a guy.
Yes.
It's pretty much Iron
He's
Man.
Iron Man, yeah.
DC's Iron Man.
I didn't put it on there just because it was like it's like an offshoot movie.
Yeah.
Well,
I totally
the
remember
only
that
reason why I
movie.
didn't, but
and I
it's
remember like
so bad.
So for everybody out there, is Shaquille O'Neal plays John Henry Irons, who designs weapons for the military. When his project to create weapons that harmlessly neutralize soldiers is sabotaged, and he leaves in disgust. That right there just sums up the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just,
he had a little run of movies. Remember he had that
Shazam.
genie movie?
Yeah,
Is that what it was?
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
wasn't no relation to the
No,
comic book
but
character.
that's-
though.
That was
Shazam.
1997. So that tells
Was Steel in 1997?
1997.
Yeah, I remember that movie because I would have been in middle school, so eighth grade, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Because
it
people
was a
think-
big deal at the time.
Well, people think that like the Marvels kicked off this big comic book era in movies, and they didn't. I mean, you go back to the early 90s, in the mid 90s, which is part of my awesomely bad list, is where it really shows you how much Hollywood ran with it to the mid 2000s, which kind of
But
phased
in
out.
all seriousness, they didn't. I mean, Blade was kind of the real beginning. I mean, for big budget, like popular.
Oh man.
Well, I guess the Batman movies.
Superman before that in the 80s.
Well, yeah, that's true. I guess outside of Superman and Batman.
But Blade kind of was kind of the in between until The Dark Knight came back. When Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight came,
Are you forgetting about like Spider-Man and X-Men?
Yeah. All those.
X-Men's horrible.
No, stop
No,
it. Get out
I
of here.
don't mind them.
All right, on that, we got to go away from him.
Okay.
Oh God.
Number 7.
So my number 7 is a second installment of a movie, and it is called Punisher Warzone.
You know, I never saw it.
Oh, I reluctantly watched
Wasn't
it.
that a Swedish lady that directed that?
I don't know who
Yeah,
the
she
director
was. She was like a Swedish lady.
So I liked the Thomas Jane Punisher.
Yeah, I did too.
I
Actually,
liked
that
him.
was good.
does not get any love, by the way.
No, he doesn't, and I do like that movie.
Because he's a. I think because it wasn't rated R. If they would have made that movie rated R,
But I think he's a really good.
Wasn't it Dolph Lundgren as the? Wasn't he the Russian guy?
Dolph Lundgren was the original one from the 80s.
Oh
Yeah.
okay.
But anyway, so Punisher Warzone, they get a completely different actor. I don't even remember his name.
He's a guy
people
from
know him, but
Rome.
yeah,
on-
I could
on
look him
HBO.
up, I guess.
Anyway.
But anyway, it was a completely different take, kind of. It was too like SWAT militaristic.
Yeah.
I just don't like the take. I don't like the movie. I think it's too far away from the character itself, and I would say never watch it.
Yeah, Punisher Warzone. I don't remember the specifics, but was a really popular comic book run though. Specifically,
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like the movie.
Lexi Alexander was the director. She's from Sweden, I believe, or some northern European country.
Your number 6, Christopher.
Oh, my number 6. I can do that. I went the dude route and named all the Fantastic Four movies, not including the 1994 one because I don't count that because I don't consider that a real movie. But I will give you all 3 of them. And I debated on this a lot because I don't remember hating at the time the first, I think it was 2005, Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
But I think it may be just because I was partially in love with
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba.
Yes, that's
Oh,
exactly
God,
what I was
she's-
going to say.
She's so good looking.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with her, and she had a really good show on Fox called Dark Angel.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
And
that.
And Sin City. Come on.
Well, I know,
Ooh,
but
Sin
Dark
City.
Angel is what got me into Jessica Alba, and I thought it was a
Yeah.
good show, and it was. I was like in the bag for anything she did.
Yeah, wasn't that Joss Whedon too?
It was.
It was Joss
yeah.
Whedon.
So, but on retrospect and watching that movie back, even though I liked the guy who played Doctor Doom, Julian something or other,
From Nip Tuck.
yeah, from Nip Tuck. But I will say I can't, in all fairness, say the new one because I tried to watch it and couldn't. Like
4.
I couldn't get through it.
I haven't seen it. I heard it was so bad. I haven't even attempted to watch
It's
it.
Yeah, it's really hard to get through.
Yep.
Like, not the first half is okay, and then it just makes like no sense and is ridiculous. So, and then I remember like Josh Trank, right?
Yeah, Josh Trank is the one who
Like
made
when that movie was coming out, like way before it came out, he was being touted as like the greatest
Yeah.
filmmaker ever,
And
and
then-
he has such an ego. We both listened
Yes.
to some interviews with him. He has this like
On Kevin
huge-
Smith.
on Kevin Smith had this like huge ego, and then it was a big controversy because I guess they just like butchered the movie, and he
And
came out
him.
afterwards and said like, "I would like to say that this is the movie I made, but it isn't."
Yep. He came out like shitting all over the studio and everyone else and saying like he didn't make any of this and it's not my fault that it's bad. Don't blame me. He just looked like a real shitbag coming out saying
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But he also made another awful freaking movie called Chronicle.
Yes.
Which a lot of people liked.
I
thought it was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. I really had high hopes for it because it was, oh man, these teenage kids get superpowers and they battle, and then I was like, what?
I was really excited about that movie too, and I went and saw it in theaters. And when I left, Amy was with me. And I remember leaving like, I I don't need to see
It
that
was
ever
all, I
again.
remember being all over the place.
Yeah, it was.
It tonally made it was not.
Which is exactly like Fantastic Four, all over the place and doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a really, really big shame because there's a world which they could make some amazing Fantastic Four movies. I've never admittedly been a huge Fantastic Four fan. I did like the animated show from the 90s that ran for a while. And I've always liked the character of Reed Richards, but that's about it.
Come on, hurry it up.
All
We
right.
gotta make through more.
All right.
You're number 6.
Howard the Duck. Do I got to say anything more?
I was gonna put him on here too, and I didn't.
I
you don't.
may or may not have him on mine.
Okay.
Okay, let's wait then. Let's go.
Yep, bad movie. My number 6 was also all the Fantastic Four movies, but the 90s one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen that one, but I'm sure it's just as bad. But I put 05, 07, and 15. I would definitely label 2015 as by far the worst. The Silver Surfer one is probably my favorite.
I don't remember hating that one. I love the Silver Surfer.
Right. I
One of my
wanted to
favorite
see
characters.
the Silver Surfer come on the big screen, and I thought it would be really cool. It's by far my favorite Fantastic Four film, but by no means are any of them good. So.
Yeah, I think this Silver Surfer was cool, but the representation of Galactus was horrendous.
Ridiculous.
And I think we'll get a new one.
I 100% agree with you.
I think we'll get a
he's coming
real
into the whole
big, gigantic purple Galactus in our future.
Yes. So, Chris, number 5.
All right, now
we
we
are
can get
halfway through.
Down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
I'm going with Ghost Rider 2. Spirit. I think it's Spirit of Vengeance. I don't even know. It's
Yeah,
Spirit
it is
of
Spirit of something.
waste of your time. Don't watch it.
Yes.
Once
didn't.
again, somebody getting evicted for tax evasion that got forced into making millions of dollars.
I didn't hate the first Ghost Rider movie. I like Nicolas Cage. Who was is it Eva Mendes is in that? Once again,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I liked it. I'm a big Eva Mendes fan.
Okay. I can go with that.
But no, the second one's terrible. There's nothing there. There's nothing worth
Yeah.
watching. All right, dude. Number 5.
Batman and Robin.
All right.
Number 5, Batman and Robin. It is okay. So a lot of people don't like this about
and
my
this was
take
my number 7.
is that I do enjoy the Jim Carrey Riddler. I think
Okay,
he's
but
hilarious.
that's Batman Forever.
The Batman Forever.
Is that?
Val
Oh, you
Kilmer's
have.
Batman.
Oh, you've got George Clooney one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George
George
Batman
Clooney,
and
Batman.
Robin.
Bat-
Okay,
we
that's
both
what I was
did.
thinking.
We had Ice
Never
to
mind.
See You.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
I
of.
forgot that line.
And a Batman credit card.
Yes.
Don't
Yep.
leave the Batcave without it.
Yeah. Okay.
And Bat Nipples.
That was your
And
number
Bat
5.
Butts.
That was my
Batman
number
and Robin?
5. And you know what it reminds me of is the TV show, the Batman TV show. How they kind of, and that I suppose that's how Schumacher wanted it because that's what he
For
grew
sure.
up
I
with.
think
Yeah.
they made the movie they wanted to make. They were trying to make a campy Batman movie,
Yeah, like
but
They did it.
it wasn't good.
Batman's not campy.
And then every time I see it, I think of Alicia Silverstone and I think of her baby burden. Just like Jerry.
Yes. I don't baby bird. I was talking about like chewing, like ripping pieces of food off, like steak. Like instead of, I didn't have a knife around, so I'm biting pieces of steak off to like give to the kids. I'm not spitting it into their mouths. Okay,
Jerry masticates his food.
that's not true.
and
It's
purees it in his
untrue.
mouth and then spits it into his children's mouth, just like Alicia Silverstone.
Nope.
I got nothing.
I'm on record
Nothing.
saying that is not true.
Baby
and
bird Jerry, what do you
he's-
got for you?
That's a short joke, and I take offense.
I got nothing.
My number 5, Ghost Rider 2, Spirit of
there we go.
Vengeance. Because I started laughing when you said it because I too, under much protest, liked the first Ghost Rider. I didn't mind that movie. I thought it was pretty good.
And I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan, first off. I
And
love that character.
I love crazy ass Nicolas Cage. I think he's hilarious. I think everything he does is fun, and I like it.
I do too.
But Ghost Rider 2, I couldn't finish it.
No, it's hard to watch.
I don't know if I ever have actually finished the movie.
There
'cause
were
I
some
started
cool special effects, as there were in both
Yeah.
of those movies. They did Ghost Rider on Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Did they really?
Oh,
know
yeah.
that.
And they did it I think they did a really good job with it.
Oh wow! I've never.
There was a
watched
whole
Agents.
season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that was about Ghost Rider,
He's
essentially.
not a nice person. I mean, Ghost Rider
no.
is.
I mean,
He's
He
an
sold
anti-hero.
himself. You know.
he's a good guy. definitely.
But he's
He only
Trying to
kills
be.
bad guys.
Yeah.
just like, anyway.
All right, your
Anyway.
number 4, Christopher.
My number 4. Quit rushing me, Jerry.
Sorry.
People need to hear what I have to say.
I don't think that's true.
For my number 4, it's going to pain me to say because my childhood self would hate me right now. But I'm going to say Superman, I'll say 4, but could be 4, could be 5.
Yeah.
Any of the Superman movies that weren't the first or the second one,
We can
or
talk
maybe
about this later.
or maybe the one with Richard Pryor. But the last two are god awful.
That's 3.
That's
The
3.
with the supercomputer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Catwoman.
That's your number 4?
That's my
your
number
number
4.
four?
Number 4, Catwoman.
Halle Berry, worst movie ever.
Really bad.
Oh, bad. Just horrible. Just bad. I hate it.
We'll move it along.
Never even seen it.
So
Well, I shouldn't say that. I watched half of it and was like, done.
yeah, it's bad. Number 4 for me, you might yell at me, Chris. I have it as Daredevil.
No, stop it.
I don't like it.
Just because you like it doesn't mean it's not bad.
That
Chris.
can't be number. What did you say? Number 4, worst comic book movie of all time.
Yeah, and
No
I
way.
think it's roundly agreed.
There's
that
some good
it's just
stuff in that
Not
movie.
that good.
It's known, Chris. It's known.
It's
You don't
it's
like
widely known.
Colin Farrell's Bullseye
He's okay, but that doesn't.
when he kills the old lady on the plane with the peanuts.
The overall
More peanuts.
the overall thing, like you said, the fighting on the playground,
Yeah.
ridiculous. The fighting with what's the big
Kingpin.
the big guy,
Michael Duncan.
Yes, Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan.
It
I
just
completely forgot about him. Yeah.
it just looks bad. I don't think the production is good. The suit really isn't that great. It is close to like the comic book suit, but I just think he looks dumb in it. I don't like it. I don't like the
scene
movie.
on the roof with the rain, and when they see that with the rain, then you can see everything around.
Don't
him.
try to sell it to me because I just don't like it.
No.
I don't know. I just something about that movie. I like it.
That's fine.
That's
And
fine.
you
Yeah.
see the director's cut.
And you can.
Oh yeah, the whole
The
15
Raiders are directed cut.
No, I haven't. I have not seen it.
It's significantly better.
Okay.
significantly.
Yes, significantly. Yes.
I'll believe you.
Okay, I'll take Chris.
Rated R director's cut.
I'll go
Check
back
it
and
out.
watch it again, but it's just not in the world of comic book movies.
Kevin Smith's in it.
It is not a good one.
What?
Kevin Smith's in that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. It's bad.
Okay, fine. I don't like you. Number 3 for me is Steel.
Yeah.
We already kind of talked about it.
Real
but
bad.
Shaquille O'Neal does not need to be acting.
Nope.
No,
That
he doesn't.
movie was garbage time.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to shoot free throws. He doesn't need to act.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Number 3 for you.
This one's kind of far out there. Tank Girl. You guys, have you seen it?
I love Tank Girl.
I
Just
did
because
it.
you like it doesn't mean it's good. Chris.
The only reason I like Tank Girl is because it's in the whole era of Pauly Shore, and I feel
Yes.
like
Yeah.
she. What's that chick's name?
I don't know.
I don't
She's
know.
like
I
goes
didn't- I
hand in
didn't-
hand with Pauly Shore to me.
I didn't make any notes on it, but I just remember it being horrible.
Oh yeah, and it's got terrible
and-
critic. It
And
like
I've watched it since then, and it's worse than I remember. That's why. 'Cause
it's bad.
Wow. I must not remember. I remember liking that movie, but I haven't seen it like since I was a kid.
Just like I remember liking Captain America, but it doesn't mean that it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's again, it's one of those movies you can watch and you're like, means nothing to me, and then you completely forget it because it's completely forgettable.
I mean, that actress is super annoying.
yes,
Yeah.
but like I said, she goes hand in hand to Pauly Shore with me.
Which
She's-
is 95, which is on the second run of comic book, or the first run of comic book movies genre.
Yeah.
I think it's the same year.
They were dragging.
When
they
did Free Willy come out? Because she's in Free Willy.
Yeah. 93.
Okay, so she did Tank Girl.
She was in
shortly
Orange is the New Black, and she was really
Tank
annoying
Girl
in
was
that
in
movie too.
95,
Her
so-
show too.
after. Yeah, not good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really remember that movie, so I'll go with it.
So my number 3 is one that's already been talked about. Elektra.
Okay, there you go.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, that's a bad movie.
Severely overacted and not good.
Do you actually remember it? I feel like it was so forgettable. I don't even remember what the plot's about.
No, I don't. I guess I don't really. I just know that I hated Jennifer Garner in that movie, and that's about it.
Yeah.
She's bad.
Okay, so my number 2.
Now we can take some time.
Okay.
My number
I think.
2
Let me look at our
is
time. Hang on. Well, we're at an hour 43.
whatever. My number 2 is Howard the Duck. That's why I
Yes.
shooed you earlier
Okay,
past
so,
it
yep.
because I knew we'd talk about it now. Super disappointing.
Well, as a kid, greatest movie ever.
As a kid, it was.
It is
I
pretty
mean,
good for
Let me
kids.
see here. I have it released in 1986, so I was 6 years old. You guys had to be.
Yeah, I was 2.
were
I
born-
certainly didn't see it when I
Jerry's
was
shaking
2.
his head no right now.
I was born April of 87, so
I certainly didn't see it when I was a kid. I saw it when I was probably, in middle school or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, I remember being kind of raunchy funny at sometimes.
I mean, the band's name was Wild Cherry, and they wore very little clothing. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very adult humor that was over top of children's heads. at
Plus,
the
I
time.
liked Leah Thompson.
Yep,
go-
she's
Go
even
back
though
and
she's having sex with a duck
go back and watch it.
in that movie.
That's
She's
weird.
wearing very little clothing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Play Duck. Remember, he's got Play Duck magazine.
Yeah.
Like
Forgot
naked
about that.
ducks.
It's like I told you, there's a lot of
yeah,
that
adult
goes over-
humor.
Adult
And
humor goes over kids' heads.
Super weird movie because at the beginning of the movie, like he goes to college and manages a band, and then at the end of the movie, they're fighting aliens. Remember
Yes.
that? It was weird.
Yeah.
It made no sense, that movie.
I am excited for the Kevin Smith iteration of Howard the
I think
Duck,
it'll be
though.
great. The animated.
What?
Yeah,
Kevin Smith's making an animated show on Hulu,
for
right?
Hulu, yep.
That's Howard the Duck. And there's 2 other Marvel shows. What are they?
I don't remember. We talked about it on a previous episode. Go back in our catalog and look it up. I don't remember.
Yeah, so disappointing because that was a George Lucas movie.
Was it really?
Yeah, coming off of Empire
Yeah,
You're right.
The
And-
Force wasn't strong.
and
with him.
probably probably off of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Probably.
Well, no, or maybe Temple of Doom.
It
No
had to
idea.
be Temple of Doom because if it's 86, that's
And then he
Temple of
chose
Doom.
that one. But yeah, there was a cameo in the Avengers movie, remember? Or one of the Marvel movies of Howard the Duck at
Yes,
the end.
that was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes, it was Guardians. Yes,
Was it Guardians?
Yes, I'm positive. I'm pretty
Because the
positive.
collector
it was.
had them and something blew up.
Yeah, the collector's place blew up and he
Yeah,
was like
he
walking
sitting
out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So anyway, that could be a cool movie someday, but that wasn't
was
it.
not.
Not it.
All right, you're number 2, dude.
The 1978 Avengers movie. If you haven't seen it,
I don't even know.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
there
Yeah.
was a made-for-TV movie starring Luke Ferrigno's Hulk. I forgot who was Captain America.
Okay, I
I
guess
like
I
Lou
do
Ferrigno.
kind of remember that.
And it's horribly bad. I mean, it is so bad that I didn't don't watch it.
Okay.
Just, don't watch. Just take my word. It's bad.
I loved Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk in
So
the
did I.
TV show.
It was great, but this is like Iron Man lays down in this thing and it encases him in a bulletproof chamber, and
Really?
Captain America is
Was it? When did the Hulk TV show come out?
Oh my God, 70s.
Was it the 70s?
before our
Okay.
time, before my time.
Yeah. Okay.
I
guess I didn't realize that. I thought it was an 80s show.
I liked that show. I obviously saw it in reruns. I liked it, but it wasn't the Incredible Hulk, really. I mean,
No.
kind of. It was just kind of him
It's Lou Ferrigno is what it was.
going down the road and solving people's problems.
Yep. It really was. And he'd just get mad and solve it being strong.
Yeah.
And he
So-
really wasn't that big in the grand scheme of things. Like he was still a tall person. But what?
Nothing. Sorry.
Okay.
What
Oh,
are
my
we on?
number. It's my number 2.
Yeah.
I'm going with The Spirit.
Oh man.
I don't like it.
That's on my honorable mention list here.
Is
I
it?
actually
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
So Sin City.
I wanted
good.
to like the Spirit so bad
same
when
here,
it came
Chris.
out.
Exactly.
I really wanted
this
to
is
like
my point. I wanted to like it because of what they did with Sin City.
Yeah, for sure.
And all of the Frank Miller stuff.
And I like that actor, Gabriel Mock, or whatever his name is.
I thought
He's great in Suits.
here's what happened. You know, when we talked about Endgame and going in with these high expectations of a movie and then being let down, and how that didn't happen to us in Endgame. Like you go in with these extremely high expectations and then they go better than that with Endgame. In this movie, it was like, I'm let down. I didn't read much of the comic book at all. I went back and flipped through some of it and seen some of it. I don't have a big basis of any of this, but I just don't think it was that good of a movie. I feel like it was like rushed out because of how good Sin City was, and then they felt like they needed to make another thing like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
It had some cool visuals.
yeah, it's
Had a
got
cast. I mean, Gabrielle Mocked, as I said, Eva Mendes was in it. I like
Yeah.
her. Scarlett Johansson was in it.
yep.
Somebody
Sam
get me a
Jackson.
tie.
Sam
just-
Jackson was in it.
I don't think the script was good.
No.
And I think
It
that's
was
where
rushed.
they
it was the
failed.
typical. We made a lot of money on one movie. Let's push another one out the door.
Exactly.
Get money,
Yeah.
make
Yep.
more-
And let's
even
do more
money.
black and white and red.
That's what it was. They wanted to make they want to make a statement with that stuff, and they think it's going to be like this huge visual spectacle and draw people in as like a kind of an indie movie, I guess, but it just wasn't. It didn't go over as well. Sin City took that,
That Sin
And-
City was awesome.
and they can't.
Sin City was amazing. And
Yeah.
again, this was at a time when, I mean, we had gotten Spider-Man movies, we had gotten X-Men movies. So we started getting these comic book movies enough that it excited us. And
Yeah.
then there was like a drought for a while.
Yep.
And we got Sin City and we got some other things, but we got the Fantastic Four movies. And so when they were going to do that movie, like you said, the expectations were high and we were ready for something.
Yeah, and then they push out the same thing we've already seen.
That same year, Iron Man came out.
And what happened? Iron Man took
You're
off.
right. You're correct.
Yeah. So that's your number 2.
Number 1 for you.
My number 1 worst comic book movie is Catwoman. That's why I was pushing that past
Yeah,
earlier too,
that's fine.
because I knew we'd talk about it now. That is an awful
It
freaking
is
movie.
fucking horrible. Horrible. There is no Catwoman without Batman. Number 1.
And it's not that Catwoman.
I
It's
know.
not even related in
No,
any
I
way.
know.
Has nothing to do with
Yeah.
it.
Different characters, different origin. The plot makes no sense. There's like some type of lotion,
Which
Yes.
like
lotion on
skincare
its
lotion
skin.
that was like causing bad things. And then
Yeah.
well, which
is
again,
that Susan Sarandon in that or somebody famous?
DC saw
No,
how much money they were making off the Dark Knight,
Not Susan Sarandon.
No, it's
so they decided to start rebooting some of these franchises to make money, and Catwoman was one of them. And then Superman Returns was the other one.
I see a picture of her and I don't know her name. I can't remember her name.
Well, Holly Berry, Sharon Stone.
Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basic Instinct, Sharon Stone.
Yes.
Not Susan Sarandon.
Sharon Stone.
Yeah. Anyway, so they had some star power. I think Halle Berry was just like on fire during that time period when that movie came
Monsters
out.
Ball came out right about the same time. didn't it?
And Storm. I mean, she was Storm right when that was
Oh,
being
yeah.
made.
Yep.
So I think they thought, hey, we can do no wrong here. And rah, female movie. Again,
Yep.
the only reason that movie got made probably was because they're like, well, we need a female superhero.
Yep.
What property can we have?
Yeah. Not good.
Catwoman.
We just made a bunch of money with Batman Begins. We got to do something.
Yeah. Was that around the same time?
Batman Begins. Was,
No,
I
it was
think
2 years later.
Was to 04. I think it was 04.
Catwoman came out in 2004. Batman Begins came out 2006.
Okay. Was it really?
All right. So it was between that and The Dark Knight, but I went with Catwoman.
Well, okay.
Me
Well,
and
we-
Jerry's jaw just hit the ground.
We can't speak anymore.
Nice.
yeah.
All right. You're
You're no
number
longer
one.
friend. Superman, Quest for Peace.
Yeah. Okay. That's why you wouldn't want to talk about it
Yeah,
earlier.
because
Yeah.
that's the one where he takes all the nuclear missiles and throws them into the sun in a giant fake net. And it,
I hate saying it because as a kid, that's what we had.
Yep.
Was those Christopher Reeve Superman movies. And the first two are great. And then they just kind of get weird.
see, I
Isn't
remember
it-
Got
number
that
two. I
comedy
remember
one.
two when he's fighting General Zod. And
Yeah.
and
No.
Yeah, that was
not.
that was two.
Two. Was it General Zod or was it the other Kryptonians that came down? There was like a group of Kryptonians.
It was General Zod, the chick, and then
chick,
and then
okay.
the ogre that went.
Yeah. I didn't mind that one. I thought that one was good.
Yeah,
Didn't he fight? So he fought Nuclear Man, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Or
Nuclear Man.
Nucleoid Man. Or
Yeah,
something
I
like
know.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. Lex Luthor hatched a plan to do something.
It was it had to be a super low budget. I remember reading about this later on that all the scenes of him flying
Yeah.
is the same scene. They just cut the green screen behind him to different backgrounds, but it's all the exact same.
Have you ever seen the
Yeah.
documentary on the first Superman in 1978?
No.
Okay. They spent the director that got the job said, "Okay, I will only do this if I can do it the way I want it. I want complete control." It took him one full year just to figure out how to make Superman fly and make him look good on TV.
Yeah.
On a movie, because he did not want to mess it up, because he grew up with who is the TV Superman?
George Reeve.
George Reeves. He goes, that's my idol. That's what Superman's supposed to be. He was such an iconic person, but that movie just horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And then the fifth one was also really bad. So that's why I said interchangeable, the fourth or the
Right,
fifth,
yeah.
or
That
the
is-
third, really.
That is the fifth one.
The Quest for Peace is the fourth one.
What the hell? There was a fifth one?
Yeah, there's a fifth one. And I have the whole box set at my house.
No. What the hell was the fifth one? I thought the Quest
I don't
for
know
Peace
the
was
name of
last
it, but I
one.
knew there was a fifth one.
Well, anyway, Superman. No, maybe you're right. Okay, Superman 4 was the last one. I think.
I thought there was a fifth one.
Superman Returns in 2006.
Oh yeah, well that is
1987 was the Quest for Peace.
Yep,
Yeah,
I got-
because I
yep.
remember that was the one that was like when I was a kid. That was the one that was
Yep.
like newer out. And I kind of grew up. I never was a big fan of Superman, but if I grew up on any Superman, it was probably the TV show with Dean Cain.
Yeah, The Adventures of Lewis.
yes, I watch that
Yeah.
all the time.
Not a bad
Superman.
show.
Yeah, I remember that. You know, the only thing good about Superman Returns is it's the same music as the original, which I grew up on.
Yeah, of course.
And my
amazing
wife was
score.
like, "Why are you so excited about this movie?" Because it's the same music.
Yeah.
It's the music.
It's amazing how a score can do that.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry.
What do you got, Jared?
Number one.
My number one has been said, Catwoman.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Gosh, is this a bad movie? And it just burns me to no end because I'm such a Batman fan. And I think Catwoman can be a really good character.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She is a good character in most of the comic books.
I don't think she's ever really been done well.
No, I mean,
Better than Batwoman.
there's
Michelle
only
Pfeiffer.
There's only two of them. Yeah,
Three.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Who? Oh yeah.
What's her name?
I don't remember her name either. Princess chick.
Yeah. In the new movies.
Oh, what's her name?
Oh, you're,
I don't remember her name. Whatever.
From the Princess Diaries.
Yes.
That's why you're saying Princess Check. Okay.
But yeah, Catwoman's bad. It's like cartoonish to
Anne
me.
Hathaway.
It's like
Anne Hathaway.
cartoonishly bad. There's like, I think Halle Berry took it as like an Oscar nomination. She overacted the crap out of this
Yeah.
to where it just made it so stupid. Like the premise of it was stupid. Why are we trying to make this movie? Why did they try to make this movie? Why did they put it out? Nobody really knows. It was unnecessary. You didn't need it. And like I said, it's in 2004. Why would you? What are you going to gain from this movie in 2004?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's been no Batmans. Like the Nolans haven't come out. You've got the joke kind of Batman ones. You know, you're not going to play off of those.
I mean,
it
Batman
has
and
nothing to
Robin-
do with those movies.
Batman and Robin essentially destroyed the comic book movie
Yeah.
genre.
Right.
Well, no,
Until it was rebooted by Blade and X-Men, the first X-Men movie.
You are correct, because my awesomely bad list is mostly movies that we grew up with that everybody here is going to go.
All right, run through it. How much time we got?
Like a few minutes.
Okay.
If you want.
We'll
Like
run a little late.
4 minutes.
That's fine.
All right, so I started this list off as just saying.
I mean, we don't have anywhere to be.
No, I've got nowhere to
Neither do
go.
I. I'm doing good. So I started this when you told me bad movies. So I started going through my list. I'm like, this movie I've seen it in the last, because me and Bryce have watched some of the movies I grew up with. He's like, oh, this movie's great. I'm like, this is horrible. This is stupid. But so I made this list. Number 10 being not the worst, but it's bad. So The Crow.
Oh,
I
man.
I like The
love
Crow.
The Crow.
I'm not saying that it's the worst movies in the world.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
get you.
but if you do go back
then
and watch
It's
it,
hard to rewatch.
It
hard
is.
to rewatch.
It's probably very dated. It's very period, probably.
Yes.
It is, because Stone Temple Pilots were huge, and that's like the main soundtrack.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is like a 90s movie through and through.
And that's what most of these are 90s, except for
Brandon
one.
Lee,
Yep.
Yeah.
man,
Rest in peace.
we
Yeah.
really lost something there.
Yep. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original 90. I mean,
Come on.
I like that too.
if you go back and watch with your kids, you're gonna go.
I did just do that like probably a month or two ago. I watched the first one with him, and I was like, "You got to watch this, Grady. This is so great." He loved it,
Yeah.
and I loved the fact that he loved it.
Same here.
But then
Same
watching
here.
it again, I was
Second
like,
one with Vanilla Ice was way worse.
"Isn't that the third one?"
No, the third one's where they go back to feudal Japan.
Yep.
Has anybody
Oh, that's
rewatched
right.
that lately?
No, I haven't.
I would
I need
love
to.
to watch that.
I need to watch that.
Because I remember liking it when I was a kid.
So the only reason I haven't is because it's not on Prime. You have to rent it. Or no, actually, they don't have the rights or something to 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
So you can watch the first one on Amazon Prime, but you can't even rent them off Amazon because I was going to rent both of them because Grady was like so in love with that first one. He wanted to watch the next two, and you can't rent them online.
So there was
Online.
another live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that I think was before the first one that was a straight to VHS release, and I had it as a kid.
I don't remember that.
My mom still has it.
I don't remember that either.
And I wore that tape out, man. I loved it. It's so bad. It's
I'm sure.
like guys in
Turtles,
really bad
Teenage
suits.
Yeah.
Ninja
I thought the animatronic heads were awesome at the time, and then when I rewatched it, I was like, "Ooh,
that's
boy."
why I put it on the
After
list.
that
If
movie
you go
came
back
out-
and watch this list, you're gonna go, ooh.
Yeah.
So
After that movie came out, there was a friend of a mutual friend of ours, and he was a little younger than me. And I remember we went to Chicago after that movie came out, and we were walking down, and he was trying to lift the lids on the sewer.
Yeah.
But
120 pounds of them.
I don't know how neither of us put any of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies on our list because
You're right.
I never saw the second one, which I heard was awful.
It was
You're right.
horrific.
I haven't seen
The
any
first
of them.
one I saw half of and shut off because it was so bad.
Yeah.
So
Not good.
No.
All right. The Phantom.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen. I
Billy
loved it.
Zane. Billy Zane is the Phantom.
Billy Zane. I
Zane.
loved that
I've
movie
never
when I was
seen
a
it.
kid.
That's why it's on this list. I loved it. I had it on VHS. I remember wearing the tape.
Oh, I
outside.
still got it on VHS.
But if you go back and watch it, it's
Pretty bad.
So dated. But
So I wonder on the Spirit, both the Spirit and the Phantom, if they really count because those were based on comic strips.
Yes, they count. It says comic
Okay,
in
fine.
the name, right?
It's not a comic book.
You're-
it's a
you're-
comic strip.
you're picking the fly shit out of the pepper, Chris.
If you don't count Frank Miller as a comic book
But
person,
I think
He
I
didn't
think-
create that. It was.
Do you guys remember seeing the-
It was
As-
Will. He was just director of that.
not of
Spirit.
was he?
He just directed it.
I
It
thought he
was,
created it.
No, it was like Will Eisner, right?
I don't know. I was under the impression it was Frank Miller.
So, do you guys remember watching the anime Phantom 2050 or 2060 or something?
No, I've never been a big anime guy, so I won't watch any of it.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah.
what is it? Yeah, Will Eisner did the Spirit.
It was Phantom like 2050 or 2060. It was anime set in the Phantom in the future.
Yes,
I think
I
they
do
could
remember that.
I think they could do something with the Phantom.
I think the Phantom's a super cool character.
He is. I mean, the ghost that walks. I mean,
Yeah, it's a cool character. They could do something
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's not got rebooted.
I really don't.
because I bet nobody has the rights to that. It's so old.
Probably
Well,
not.
I bet you somebody does have the rights. They don't want to see it get made.
Well, you know what? That's
They're
an
holding
interesting
it.
topic for another
1996.
podcast because there's 95-year copyright law in this. Okay, so this
World.
is super interesting, and I don't want to waste a bunch of time, but there was a law enacted in the 80s, I think, where they changed the copyright period from whatever it was at the time. It was like 50 years or something like that, and they changed it in one time to 95 years. And then it goes back or reverts back to, oh no. Okay, yeah, they changed it to 95 years. So over the last 20 some years, we've had nothing come off copyright because they changed it all of a sudden from 50 to 95 years. So we're working through that gap of when they changed that.
Yeah.
That ends like next year.
Really?
So after next year, we'll start slowly getting stuff from the 1920s, 1922, 1923, from 2020, I think.
Yeah.
And every year stuff will come off copyright. But stuff that, is from the 20s plus, which
Sure.
there were movies being made. There were comic books. I don't know about comic books, but stuff that's we know about,
Yep.
So there was a list somewhere, and I had it, and I was going to bring it to the podcast of like what's coming off copyright next year, and then every year after that.
Yeah.
And
we could definitely talk
as
about
soon
that.
as it comes off copyright, there's going
it's
to be a
going
movie.
to be made.
Somebody's
Yeah.
gonna jack
Like
it.
Popeye is coming off copyright.
Oh wow.
There will be another Popeye movie.
For sure. Go
There's
ahead.
already been one.
That I know. That was. I remember as a kid loving it.
I loved it.
I need to go back and watch it. So number 7, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay. Yep.
We talked about that.
I like it.
So number 6, Dick Tracy.
Oh my
yes.
god.
Yeah.
He's
Boy.
saying awfully bad though.
Well,
it's
That's like one of his favorite movies of all time.
It is.
It is one of my favorite. It's same here. But if you
I
go
love
back,
it so much.
That was on your
it's
list
so
of
bad.
top comic
I know.
book
I
movies.
love
well,
it.
we'll go back and watch it.
I'm not saying it's bad. He's saying it's bad. I love it.
I'm saying it's so bad. It's awesome.
Yeah, I get
Awesomely
it.
bad.
I mean, the production isn't great, but I feel like it's a good representation of Dick Tracy.
It's probably the best we'll ever have. I mean, they actually have flat top as having a flat top.
I know. And Mumbles. I talk about Mumbles all the time. I think
Yeah, he
he's
does.
so great.
Do you remember who Mumbles was?
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin
We
Hoffman.
talk. You don't listen to the podcast, dude.
I do.
No.
I
We talk about it all the time.
I bring it up almost every time that we say a person that has been in the movie. I bring it up
Yeah.
because it's just so good.
Okay, number 5, The Shadow.
Okay.
Remember- you
Disagree.
remember
I didn't see it.
You
What?
see it?
With
No,
Alec Baldwin?
that? Alec,
Nope.
yeah, a young Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, I love that movie. I loved that movie
So
as
did
a
I.
kid.
So did I loved it. You go back and watch it, it's like he's like straight up selling heroin to people in the beginning of the movie. It's like, holy shit.
That had the knife too, with the knife
Yeah,
with a mouth that would bite you.
It was a tri-bladed knife or some dagger. Yeah, but anyway,
But
I
it
need to-
had a head that would bite you. Yes, you need to watch.
I need to
The
watch this?
Shadow.
yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty good. Which is that's an iconic.
I'm surprised I haven't seen this.
Yeah, that's from like the mid to late 90s,
That is 95.
95.
Oh,
Okay, number
wow.
4, Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh.
Go
Yeah.
back. Go back. I mean,
It's bad. Yeah.
I am the law. You know that kind of crap. You know.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the new Judge Dredd?
Yeah,
I heard it was good.
I loved it as a comic book movie, but it didn't get good reviews because it's not mainstream.
Right, because it's Judge Dredd.
Huge in Britain.
Well, it was
That's
rated
a
R.
British comic book.
Well, it was rated R.
Yeah.
I think-
Judge Dredd is like gigantic in
As well
England.
Is it really?
Yeah.
if you haven't seen, I think it's just called Dread. Watch it.
Yeah, okay.
It's hyper violent.
Never saw it.
It's great. Okay, I love this movie. I'm gonna say this. I love this movie, The Rocketeer.
Oh yeah.
yes.
That's not awesomely bad. That's
No,
awesomely awesome.
no. I should say this as I go up the list. These movies are getting better.
Okay.
Better.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Better. Not. I love this. Okay.
So this isn't awesomely bad. This is
Well, I get-
this is awesome movies that you remember as a kid that are dated and hard to
Yes.
watch now.
Yes. Correct.
You know the first time I saw The Rocketeer?
What?
Rented from the Amazon Market at your house
Really?
as a kid.
Wow. Full
I
circle.
was at a sleepover at your house with your brother, and you were there too. But
well, he lived there, so yeah, you're right.
I hope I was.
but your mom took us all up to the theater or up to the market to pick a movie, and we picked The Rocketeer, and we watched it. All of us, your mom and dad.
Isn't that what
I'll
we
watch
all
it.
did
And that's the only
back
thing
in the day? Go up
Yep.
to the market and rent a movie
'Kay.
because it was the best.
Fun fact: Joe Johnston.
Yeah, I know. We talked about
We
it last
talked
week.
about that.
I haven't listened last week's. I haven't listened to the last.
we
week.
talked about it. Yeah, Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yep.
Yeah.
So okay, number
And
2.
what else, Jerry? What else
That's
did we
so
learn
funny
about
that
Joe
this-
Johnston? We had like a whole Joe Johnston
We
section.
did. I don't remember
I
everything
His
about
other
it.
movie, Jumanji. He did
Jumanji,
Jumanji.
yeah.
He did the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Yep.
I need to watch those.
It's
again.
so funny
Are
that
those on
this
anything?
comes up again.
Yeah, they're on Amazon.
Are they
Prime.
on Amazon? I need to watch those with the wife.
I just was watching them the other day.
Batman Begins.
I could see that.
It's
I don't know.
first one is awesome. Second one, when he straight up lights a guy on fire. Me and you have talked about this.
yeah,
He straight up kills people in that movie.
in Batman Begins.
Yeah, he lights a guy on fire with a Batmobile
I don't remember that.
during Christmas.
No, you're talking about Batman Returns.
I'm sorry, did I say Batman Begins?
Yeah.
I apologize.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Okay, Batman
Returns 1982.
Okay.
I
Yes.
apologize.
And-
I love Batman Returns.
I love it too, but if you go back and watch it, it's like,
That's Catwoman right there.
Yeah.
It
Michelle
is.
Pfeiffer.
And Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
which is you
Oh,
never
man.
gonna get. But he punches a hole
like
in the
that.
floor of the Batmobile to
Yes.
find the little thing. Punches a hole in it.
He does. He does punch a hole in the floor to get the tracker
Yeah.
off of the bottom of his. Yeah, you're right.
So
I
Tim
would agree
Burton
with you.
had no business directing Batman.
I would agree with you
movies.
that these are awesomely bad.
Yeah.
I would agree because they are. Me and David had a conversation about like going back to rewatch those movies, and it's like it's hard to see. I love them. I'm always going to rewatch
The reason
them.
why I think 89 Batman and Batman Returns hold up is because of the style of the movies.
Yeah.
They
Tim
don't.
Burton,
They can
dark.
never feel dated because it was like the architecture
Yeah.
and the lighting and
Well,
the shooting.
Tim
It
Burton-
wasn't like in this world. It was like a different world.
Yeah, I completely
Tim
agree.
Burton took the Dark Knight Returns and threw it in front of the writers and said, I want this.
Well, they didn't do a very
No.
good job adapting that.
Well, if you look at some of the original ones, the tall buildings and the story arcs, not story arcs.
Well, I
the-
guess you're kind of right too, because remember the like cyberpunk villains and
Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
I guess that was more Schumacher though.
Well,
that had that kind
it's
of
just more
neon-
the
The
scenery.
neon guys
roller
on roller
skates.
It's supposed to be really
rollerblades.
dark. The first two are supposed to be really, really dark, and they were.
It is kind of a letdown in '89 Batman when at the very beginning they have that really cool animated Batman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then like the next when you see him in the suit, which he's barely in, but when you see him in the suit, it's just so stiff.
Very stiff.
Yeah.
He couldn't turn his head.
So number one, Spawn.
No,
I love this movie. The movie's awesome. You go back and look at it.
I love it too, but it is a poorly
Yeah.
made film.
Now
Really?
the director's cut he cusses. That's about the only difference, and he's a lot more with the cape.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. They
and
put
the
more
chain.
cape in it.
More cape and more chains.
so
Yeah.
you remember
'Cause that's like CGI
when
stuff.
we were at C2E2, we were talking to this lady in one of the booths about our podcast. She's like, "You guys need to do worst comic book movies." She's like, "Number one would be Spawn."
It wasn't Erica then. It was this lady
Yeah,
that
it was-
gave me
it-
the idea.
it was that lady,
You're
yeah.
right. That was it. That's
Yeah.
where I got the idea.
Yeah.
Because I knew somebody had said something to us about it. That makes
That's when
sense on
she
why I
said that to
couldn't
us, and
find
we're
it.
like, "Nope," and we walked away. We're like, "You're wrong."
She was cool though.
Yeah, she was super cool.
Because I remember walking away from her and be like, I feel like we could hang out with her.
Yeah.
She seemed really neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't agree that that's the worst movie.
no,
Because as soon
no.
as she said that, I was like,
No, that's what she said. It was the
Oh,
worst
okay.
comic book movie.
Now,
Yeah.
if you get a chance, go back and watch the HBO anime.
Yeah,
Spawn.
it's good.
That's
Really?
where it all came from. How it became popular. It was a very minuscule, quiet little comic book over in the corner until it got.
I don't know
made in
about
anime.
that.
Well, it was big in the comic book culture, but when it got put on HBO on late night,
Yeah,
it's when he took
It blew
off.
up.
It's
I
when
mean,
it went
part of
everywhere.
that blowing up was for more than just that, though. The reasons were because of Todd McFarlane
Yes.
was huge at the time because he was coming off of probably Spider-Man at the time.
Yeah.
He was a very popular artist for that. But that's right when Image Comics started. It
Yep.
was like one of their first titles.
and it's the only property that continued.
And that Image Comics, that whole revolution went super mainstream.
Yeah,
And Spawn was like the center of that.
it was. And
And-
it's, like I said, it's the only property that has continued from that. Like the original comics that came out with the start of Image, like that comic book just kept going and they never changed anything. It just kept on being what it was.
Right. Was
And-
that Spawn animated show? It wasn't originally on HBO. I think it was originally on MTV, wasn't it?
I think you're right. I think it's on HBO. I think you're right. It was on MTV. You are correct.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that's what really made it go off. 'Cause that's back in the MTV's heyday.
It's a good show. You should definitely watch it. You got HBO, right? Yeah.
Yeah, video killed the radio stars.
TRL.
Yeah,
Carson Daly every day, buddy.
I did too. My sister and I would go home and watch that like every day.
You people with cable.
Spawn was really good. I
I
liked
didn't have cable. I had to go to the Seneca kids after
Oh,
school.
okay.
John Leguizamo was a good character.
Yeah.
He played a really good
We'll have to do
Terminator?
Verminator. Yes,
Speaking of
He talks
Leguizamo,
about
And
that.
Clown. Like, he was good.
He really thought that was going to be a huge thing when he did it. And it turned out it just fucking bombed.
Michael
did it bomb?
Yeah.
Michael Jai White.
Jai White.
Jai White.
Yeah,
We've
he
talked
was
about this
also in
before.
Dark Knight.
Who was he in Dark Knight?
He was the guy that the Joker pushed his head on a pencil,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No,
well,
he wasn't the kid, but he
slammed his head on a pencil.
No, he wasn't. He came to life. The Joker's gang carried him in a garbage bag, put him on the pool table. He jumped up and stuck the knife into.
But he was like the leader of. He was
That
one of the
gang,
leaders
yes.
sitting at the table.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he told one of his guys
Guys
to
to
go
go do
over
it.
there.
Wanna see
That's
him?
right. He was sitting.
Want to see a magic trick?
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't the actual person that got impaled on the.
so he was in another. He played another comic book character.
Michael Jai White. did?
Yeah. Do you know what it was?
me
Universal
think.
Soldier.
I don't know about that.
What could he have played?
Well, he was first of all he was in the Mortal Kombat movie. I don't remember that. He played Jax.
Was he Jax?
Yeah.
No.
Nice. I liked
Yes, he
those
did.
movies.
He was another comic book character. I can't remember or he was actually been to. Oh yeah, It was in Arrow. He played the Bronze Tiger.
Oh, I didn't
in
know that.
Arrow.
See, I haven't watched much.
He was also in
I
Batman the
should.
Brave and Bold, which is a good animated Batman show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so do we have time to do what's in the box, or are we calling it?
We're at 2 hours and 13 minutes.
It's up to dude.
Let's go for it. Let's finish up.
All right.
Long episode.
What's
Here we
in
go.
the box?
You guys.
What's in the box?
You know, for as many people that complain, which nobody really complains about the length of the show anymore.
I don't hear it as much. I think everyone's just come to know that we're going to have long episodes.
I think everybody.
Skip around.
I've heard a lot lately of
2.5 hours of your life is going to be over. So just listen to this while you're doing housework.
doing something. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say, "Man, I just wish it went on longer." Lately,
No way.
yeah, a lot of people have been complaining. They're like, "Just when I feel like you're getting into the groove, the show ends."
That's your feeling.
No.
You feel that way.
No,
you
that's
say that
Because
every
we're
time.
sober right now. We haven't been drinking.
No, every time we quit an episode, you're like, man, wish I was just getting in my groove,
What's he
man.
got? What's he got?
All right,
This is a fun part for us.
this is a big box.
I feel like it's more
They're
fun.
all- they're- I see a lot of cellophane.
I feel like it's more fun for us
Oh,
than
he's
it
taking
is
them out
the
of the
listener.
covers. Holy cow.
All right, this is what times it frames it from, Jerry?
I don't know.
Not September 2015.
Ooh, that's all the
Ooh,
old one
Star
too.
Wars?
The oldest one we had was a couple episodes.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah, 13 or 14, something like that.
We got a DC Bombshells.
Yeah, I don't know why you ever got that.
Because I love the art, man.
I don't know what that is, Chris.
Is it good?
Well,
It's all digital art. I'm not digital art's good. Okay,
it's always different artists.
I
on
don't
every
want to
show.
take away from digital art because
Let me
it
see
is
what
an
you
art
got.
form.
I just like the covers on it. That's
I
why
just
started.
really-
I don't collect that book anymore, but
I really like.
here's a new one, brand new one that we haven't had on the
Like
show
a
before.
Wonder
Really?
Woman
What's that?
type.
We Stand on Guard,
I have all of those. Those are that's
issue
pretty
number
good.
3.
That's
Brian K. Vaughan.
Yeah, that's a Brian K. Vaughan. I enjoy that book.
If you don't know Brian K. Vaughan, he did a little book we like to call "Why the Last Man."
Yeah, and
Me and Jerry's both #1 picks for greatest comic
and
book of all time.
another small little property called Saga,
Our #2 pick, both for greatest comic
and then
book of all time.
another little property called Girls, Paper
Oh yeah,
Girls.
Paper Girls, another top pick. We Stand on Guard. Give them the synopsis, Jerry. That's a good one.
So it's about the Canadian Army that is fighting these robots. Somebody created these robots, and they're starting to like take over the world basically. But it's all about Canadian Army taking them back. There's kind of a political stance. In the
For
book.
sure. Yeah. Americans are trying to get into Canada.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think America created these robots.
Yeah, Canada's like the last stand, and everybody's trying to get to Canada, and they're like
Yes.
holding out.
It's a good book.
a really good book.
I really enjoyed it. I like basically every single thing that Brian K. Vaughan touches, does, talks about, steps on.
Yeah.
I don't care what he does. He could look at it and I'll be like, well, that's the greatest thing ever created.
Yeah, and by the way, our much anticipated "Why the Last Man" show, it's in a lot of trouble.
Is it? Oh, no.
The writers of the show, the showrunner, quit. I believe that was going to FX, right?
Yes.
FX. He quit, and I'm guessing
That's bad.
over creative differences, because I'm guessing they were just trying to censor what he wanted to do. Because you can't put "Why the Last Man" on network television. Sorry, even on FX. It needs to be on HBO
Yeah, you really can't.
or Netflix
And,
or something.
Man, they let
I mean, it's never good when the showrunner leaves because then it basically fails.
Yeah.
And then you get something that
It's still being done.
horseshit. Is Brian K. Vaughan attached to that?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so then it'll be horseshit.
We got a Daredevil #18. This is part of the Mark Waid run, so this is definitely my favorite run of Daredevil for a long, long time, and probably in one of what would you say, top two
Say that again.
Daredevil runs of all time?
Which was what? I was looking at this book. Sorry.
Daredevil #18, the Mark Waid run.
Oh, Mark Waid?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a great run.
That's one of the best. It is, to me, it's probably the best, but the run I'm reading right now is probably going to pass it up to be.
Well, I mean, there was a little thing called Born Again.
Oh, well,
Frank
no.
Miller.
No, I know that, but that's still a really, really good run.
Yeah.
I don't think Born Again should be rated. I think it's just like, that's Daredevil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the upper echelon of Daredevil, and then you have everything that came
Mark
after.
Waid, though, is completely different Daredevil.
Yes, I understand. I'm just saying, to me,
Yeah.
there is Daredevil, and then there's everything that came after.
Yeah. I got Deadpool versus Thanos. Number 1 right here. I did never read it, obviously. So
Deadpool versus Thanos. I
Yeah.
don't think that's is that a real thing?
it's a mini series that was running for a while.
How does Deadpool fight Thanos?
I mean,
We just saw what happens.
they're mostly comedy books, Jerry.
Give me a break.
They're funny books.
Literally, you have Deadpool standing in front of Thanos, and Deadpool's turning towards you, and he says, "It was a joke, Marvel."
We got Doctor Who, part 4 of 5. Right there. 4 doctors. I guess that's Capaldi.
Is that yeah?
Was he around in 2015?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I think that's the Peter Capaldi's. Is that when he started?
Must have been,
Yeah.
because he just finished up. All right. Number 2.
Yeah. He says it was a joke, Marvel. It was a joke when I said I wanted to fight Thanos. Running away. That's
Everybody
funny.
be careful with these collectors. Batman, number 44, Scott Snyder.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what part of this run this is, but it's
Still part of.
not Capullo. It's Azzarello.
Which one is it? Let me see it.
Snyder Azzarello.
Yeah. So that's when Jim Gordon took over as Batman,
Okay.
and then it's after that. Like the first one was I think 41.
It's after that, yeah.
It's 41 when Jim Gordon takes over, and then it's that storyline after that, and that's when I quit reading it because it's not very good.
All right, we got Jerry's favorite, The Walking Dead, number 146.
Yep, there's another Walking Dead. Just keep
Jerry
coming.
hates The Walking Dead.
I don't. That's the wrong words. I don't hate it. It's just not my thing. Okay, it's not my thing.
All right.
This is a pretty cool Batman cover. I do like this cover, but the story's just. It's still a Scott Steiner story, so it's good. It's just not what I want in a Batman story.
We got a Civil War, number 4, Charles Soule.
Ooh, that looks good.
Not the original Civil War run, obviously, but the second Civil War run. We got an Amazing Spider-Man, number 5. Who is it? Dan Slott.
Dan Slott, my man.
Like, he must have written more Spider-Man than any human being in the history of mankind.
I think he's good at it.
He is. It's always got
Didn't
great,
he write Spectacular Spider-Man?
Superior Spider-Man.
Superior Spider-Man. That's the different one. It's always the different one. That's always one I think of because you gave it to me and I read it and I think it's really good.
If you guys don't like Spider-Man, you have to know that it has the best art in the business, I believe.
You know, I kind of agree most of the time.
Best covers, best paid, best interiors.
It's really, really, really great.
If you like good
there's
art.
just something about seeing Spider-Man. I think it's just fun to look at Spider-Man swinging around. And that art is really good. This cover is really cool, too, because you got black suit Spider-Man right on the front.
We got a Star Wars number 9, and I believe that's right after the reveal. Right before this is the reveal of Han Solo's wife.
Okay.
Remember that in the comics?
I don't.
Oh, well,
He was married.
he was married.
Yeah.
That's right after that, I believe.
Okay.
We got,
Doesn't she try to kill Leia?
I don't remember. I have all those trades. I've read them all a couple times each, but it's been a long time. Bucky Barnes, The Winter Soldier, number 11. I started collecting Winter Soldier, even though the art in this, Jerry is not going to like the art in this.
Is that the Brubaker one?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, that doesn't look like it. Because he ended way before that, didn't he?
Yeah, Winter Soldier took off, probably around 2012 or 2013, kind of relaunched, and was getting really great reviews. Didn't read a lot of it, to be honest.
Why don't you think I like that art over there?
Because you won't.
Okay.
All right. We got a...
You have a lot in this one, too.
Yeah. We got a Deadpool versus Thanos, again, number 2. And we got another Doctor Who, 5 out of 5. We got David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Capaldi on that one.
You know what this reminds me of, kind of?
What's that?
I don't necessarily hate this art in this Winter Soldier book, but it reminds me of Sandman a little bit.
It does kind of.
In some parts, like this. Where'd it go? There's a spot in here that reminds me of like looking at Sandman and death and stuff. Look at that. Doesn't that look like it?
Yeah, that's actually a really cool page.
It is a cool page, but that's what that reminds me of. I just feel like it could be distracting.
We got a Batman Annual #4.
I believe I have that for sure.
Yeah. And for the last one, oh, yes, I forgot that I collected this. This is a new one for the show as well, with some of the best art in the business that you will find. The relaunch second run of the Sandman Overture.
Oh, yes.
This is when Sandman came back. I started collecting it because I thought, holy cow, this is huge. These books are going to be worth a ton of money. And I think it kind of wasn't meant to huge acclaim, the second Sandman run, but
no, not so much. You don't hear much about it. Like if somebody were to recommend Sandman, which I do, it's not that. That's not what I would.
And that's it. That's what's in the box, Jerry.
I think if you're going to continue with Sandman, obviously you would read that. I probably should read that because I like it a lot. I actually still haven't finished the whole run of Sandman. I still have one whole trade paperback to read. What would that be? Number
5?
5? Yeah, 5.
I have that somewhere at home.
But other than that, I should probably read it because I'm sure it doesn't have. It's really hard to beat the first iteration of Sandman. Like, how do you continue that? You know, I don't know. It's got to be good though because all of that was really good.
Well, Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, exactly. That dude's got a brain.
Real American hero. That's not American.
Yeah, Englishman, real Englishman hero.
Check out that art though. You'll love it. All right.
Well, here we are at the end. Dude, any final words before we never have you on the podcast again?
Thanks for having me, apparently. It's been fun.
Dude really, he really campaigns hard for Thursday night.
He does.
Yeah.
I said we could have done Thursday night. I told that to Chris earlier.
We're probably all going to be in the field with any luck. Let's bet on that.
I mean,
it's supposed to rain like
long
every
shot.
day.
It's a long shot, but I thought, hey, let's hope for the best.
Yeah, sooner the better. I agree. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
We'll have you again, I'm sure.
For Snarf Talk this week is
Dude.
Chris.
I'm Jerry.
See ya.